You're talking about all men. Woo!
Tito Santana.
People. I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. Whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky, to your cabin in the woods, or just couch surfing, or maybe just on a road trip, or relaxing on your lazy boy. People of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. It's 3 a.m., and there's something moving you. So crack open a window, sit back, relax, get some tea or coffee, turn the lights down. It's less dangerous. Because you're tuned in to Mike in the Night, voice of the Commonwealth. Hashtag Mike in the Night. Intro track by Ralphie.co.New Zealand. I'm sorry, Ralphie. Ralphie.co.New Zealand. Make you a custom track. Ralphie.co.New Zealand. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why. But I'm stumbling over my words this morning, or this night, or tonight, or yeah. It's been a long day, folks. I got a lot. I want to thank everybody. First, before I say anything else, I want to thank everyone that came this week to see me at the store. I had maybe 16, maybe 18, 20 people come visit me today at the store, and that meant a lot to me, with a lot of people coming way out of their way to come and see me in person. So I'm very easy to find or track. I'm not that hard of a guy to find if you want to come and find me. So I want to appreciate that. And I want to send a very special happy 4th of July. It's 4th of July weekend for Americans. Yes, it is the 4th of July. And I want to thank all our American viewers for joining us. And I also want to thank people. Guys, if you want to send me Skype videos via Skype, just upload them to your Skype to me. Doesn't take much time. If you got a video or something that you want to contribute to the show, no problema. Just send me the video and I will go ahead and play it. I have no problema whatsoever. So guys, this is our streaming channel now. I'm going to stream on here so we don't have any problemas with nobody, you know what I'm saying? And tonight we're going to have a very special guest on the show tonight. We're going to have Alaska Prepper is going to come on tonight. He's going to come on and give us a few prepping tips. But I'm going to put him on the spot. I'm going to read a few article headlines for him. Non-banking, non-financial, some of the darker things that are happening in the world. And I want to get his perspective on specific things, right? So, right. Okay, the comments are rolling. We got TNT in the house. We got Linny Poo in the house. We got Lord Humongous in the house. We got... You heard YouTube delete the Graham Stephen channel due to YouTube crypto bot scammer channel. He got 2 million subscribers. What? All right, we're gonna have to get Low Roller Scratcher on the show to explain that to us sometime. We got Mario in the house. He's saying watching from Mexico and loving the realidad. So for my Spanish viewers out there, we're living in a pesadilla. And pesadilla in Spanish means nightmare. And we're living in a nightmare right now. It's an absolute nightmare. I just don't even want to see what the news is trying to like. What are they feeding the zombies? Like, I don't even want to touch it. Because I get people come into my store, or people that I hear talking in the lineups at the grocery store, regurgitating what the media is saying. Enough. I don't need to see it, right? Esta pesadilla, caramba, se termina. Just be the hell over, because this nightmare needs to be over very, very soon. Okay, we got shout out to all my settler homies. Woo! Papa Pissed in the house. We got Lord Humongous, Scott Horeka in the house. All right. We got Wall Street Stackers wishing everyone a happy 4th of July. Everyone be careful, please. Be good, be good, be good. Yeah. Woo! Okay, Johnny Boy Silver says, I want to head down to Mexico way. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's go into a really... so our Discord is up. Discord's doing really well. I'm getting live feed from Discord. If you guys can't post a link in this chat here, thingy here, just go ahead and send it in our Discord on Mike in the Night. So I got this here. Just another day in Australia. Listen to this. Hear this out. Shop owners of the organic store Browal in New South Wales violently arrested for not complying with mask mandate rules. Customers filming the scene also arrested. So if you're filming, if you're doing your due diligence as a patriot or someone that wants to get, I don't know, some views on YouTube or something, right? Or whatever you're doing it for, you're gonna get arrested. Well, according to this coming out of Australia. Wow. So we got all kinds of stuff rolling through right now, and I'm getting messages here from the Discord. So we got M. Howell from Boston, the state of Massachusetts. Mike in the Night saying, Carl saying, Happy Canada. Yeah, it was Canada Day, 1st of July. That's right. Was that canceled here? Was Canada Day canceled? I'm not even sure. I don't not follow the mainstream media, so I don't know if they're tricking or treating. I have no idea what the heck is going on through mainstream media because I just don't follow what they're saying. I hear enough of mainstream garbage in the lineup at the grocery store because everybody, you know who knows the most? Barbers. They're the most. They know. They're climate experts. They're virologists and mechanics that work on cars. They're virologists. They're climate experts. And, I don't know, car detailers. Those guys know a lot. They hate Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're going to get Wall Street Stackers. I'm not sure what her internet service or what's going on with her whole internet service. Maybe get her on. We're going to get... I'm waiting for Alaska Prepper to come on just to make sure he's okay there. I'm going to do a quick channel plug here if that's okay with you guys. Guys, don't forget, if you can, don't forget to subscribe to my actual channel, my main channel. I do videos every 2 days, 3 days, shouting and talking about stuff. So go ahead and subscribe to the main channel. This big show we're going to have on Wednesday, our financial show, Market Call-Ins, No Limits Call-In. And Mike in the Night next week. Mike in the Night, 3 weeks to go. So don't forget to check out next week's Mike in the Night. And my little game store that I work from, if you want to come visit me at my game store. Sell board games. And don't forget to check out artbydano.com. Not your typical art. And don't forget to, if you guys can, contribute to the Lord Humongous Tour 2021-2022. And, of course, Alaska Prepper will be on the show later tonight. So don't forget to subscribe and check him out on tonight on Mike in the Night. So where he's at right now, he is exactly 1 hour behind our time. So right now there it's like 6:05 p.m. So it's a little bit of a 1 hour because he's in that panhandle there in Alaska, and I'm in the province of British Columbia. I think I'm like 2 hours away from the American border, where I'm at south. I'm saying to Washington State, right? Okay, so we got M in the house saying Gulf of Mexico is volcanic activity. Did you guys already discuss it? No, if you're in Mexico or if you have any images you want to send us via Skype or call into the show, go ahead. So what else is going on? I don't what CBC says anymore. What does CBC stand for? Canadians Broadcasting Crap? I know ABC stands for Always Broadcasting Crap, and then I know in Australia it stands for Australians Broadcasting Crap. It's all garbage. It's like, why are they telling us this crap for? Anyways, okay, let's find out what kind of crap they're trying to tell us now. Let's go find out what kind of garbage they're trying to tell us. Garbage. Oop, got a video just playing on its own here. I'm not sure why. It's just I hope that thing doesn't play audio and I get shut down here. Okay, it looks like there's nothing coming up there. All right, let's go here to... Okay, let's go first to the channel news on the main channel. What we discussed. So this is, I posted this 9 hours ago. This is actually from the Daily Mirror. This is out of the UK. 5 million Brits who had Indian AstraZeneca vaccine may not be allowed to go on holidays. Like, how do you respond to that? Do you say, ha ha, I told you so? I should open the Simpsons soundboard here. Ha ha, I told you so. Or what did we tell, like, I mean, we didn't tell people, you know what I mean when I say we told you so. It's like, what are they going to try to spin, you know? Yeah, everybody in the comments are saying CBC is all these... Yeah, we're not going to get into that right now. We got Anna Key. Anna Key down in Australia saying heavy-handed government thugs, police in New South Wales are getting shown in a new light thanks to citizen journalists. That story is real, Mike. Yeah, I believe it's real. I'm not doubting that one bit. It's because it's by a citizen journalist. I believe the people on the streets. And that's why people from everywhere send us clips of all these protests all over the UK, New Zealand, Canada, here, because it's real, right? The media could get stuff from 17 years ago and tell you it's happening right now. And then when you call them out on that and you tell them it's fake, and guess what they tell you? Well, we're trying to teach you a lesson. Here, teach me that lesson. Right there. Teach me that lesson right there. Oh, Kia's in the house. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so that's it right there. So let's move on. So this is from King Cash YouTube. He sent me this. Well, he didn't send it to me. It was on his channel, so I shared it here on this channel. It's got 661 votes. Let me go to full screen so you can see what the hell I'm looking at here. It asks, do you think there will be another lockdown? No, it says 10%. And yes, absolutely, 90% with 661 votes. Let me throw something out there. You know what it's going to be? And this has been happening for a while, and they've been talking about this. It's going to be lockdowns due to climate change. Hold on. Right there. Lockdowns due to climate change. You think I'm making this up? And that's what they're trying to. Because I've had... professional. We're talking about people that are very up there when it comes to very specific specializations who have told me to my face to face, that have told me that they've sat on conference calls to discuss how do we make climate change as big as this COVID thing. Like, how do we get it so shut down and so like this whole COVID thing? How do we blow it out of proportion? And you know, they were asking people on the conference call to give their ideas of what they think they could do or what they could contribute. Yep. And this was like a year ago, people were telling me this. Like in March and April of 2020. All right, so what is this? Okay, right here. At least 2,300 Canadians died waiting for surgeries, 2020 report. And, oh, this guy right here. A Canadian senator. Let's take a good look at this Canadian senator here. Canadian senator says, smug. Canada shouldn't deny China's legitimacy. And I just wrote up here, I think you should just go to hell. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and, I honestly think he should just go to hell. That's a Canadian senator there. All right, Facebook to provide pop-up warnings when your friends begin thinking for themselves. What else we got on the channel? Yeah, this video here. It's got 10 likes, so it's been viewed. I've shared it on the channel. Try watching this video and not crying. And Alaska Prepper did a video on gold historically had been to go to the go-to metal. What else we got here? Bill C-36 would criminalize speech that's not far left woke speech. So what's happening here in Canada is Bill C-36 is a bill they're trying to pass where they could go back 20 years, and if I said something specific or I discussed something that I shouldn't have been saying, I could actually go to jail for it, right? So I have a lot of videos out there, so they could throw me in jail for saying something that they could take out of context at any time, right? Because that's where our tax dollars are going, right here. That's it. That's the tax dollars right there. M is saying in the comments, 41 states now, no tax on gold. That's good. Florida Governor DeSantis cites Canada as an example of a lockdown overreach. So there's quite a few. And negative views of China continue to dominate its international image. I don't know if you guys know this, but I got a secret I want to tell you about China that a lot of people don't talk about on the news. And this secret goes way back. Heck, this secret goes back to after pretty much World War II. People of the night, China is a communist country. It's a communist country. And our forefathers, grandfathers, uncles, aunts, distant relatives fought to the knife. They fought to the knife to stop the spread of communism, socialism, all this BS Marxist bullshit that they've given their lives up to give a little freedom to us. Yeah, negative views of China. Yes. Yes. What's the point if you're going to be handed a card and they tell you you could only go with one of these haircuts? That's what they do in North Korea, by the way. There's only a specific haircut you could have. You're on a social credit score in China. You got all these bizarro Mickey Mouse crap. Our elections are rigged, but at least it builds a bit of hope. Even though elections are not real, they're rigged. They're so rigged. But at least it shows, hey, we got a choice. You make the simpletons think at least we got a choice, I say. Is the forest fires in Canada just to cover up that they're burning churches? No, they're burning a ton. They've been burning churches even in my area, like for the last 4 years. And forest fires, the nearest one for me is about 50 miles from here. Is the nearest forest fire for me, and apparently they say they have it under control. So, all right, let's get into some headlines here. I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. It is the 4th of July. We should have a brouhaha. All right. Let's get into... Ooh, I put the wrong background on. Woo, wrong background. You like how I changed that real quick, eh? I just jumped into another location real quick there. All right. So Alaska Prepper looks like he's on there. Yeah, let's get him on the... Let me call him. Let's see if he picks up his phone. Hola, buenas tardes, felicidades, ¿cómo estás?
Oh, man. Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. All right, guys, here he is, front and center, our man, Alaska Prepper. Let me get a round of applause here.
Oh, your eyes if you want to get scared.
Oh, Alaska Prepper, two-time world champ. And I'm very, very, very happy that you had made the time to come and see us and be on here on the show tonight on Mike in the Night. It means a lot to us,
Thank you.
Especially with the good work you've been doing. And before I'm going to take you off for a second here because I want to show something to somebody right now. So everybody watching, guys, I really want to put this out there. Here's the Alaska Prepper channel. I'm going to give this to you guys for you guys to go ahead and subscribe to. He's almost at 100K subs. So there's enough people that are going to watch this on replay to get him to 100K. Now, this is one thing I want to put out there, and it's very, very, important that I discuss this with you guys before I get him on. And it's this video he put up here, and it made me very emotional the other day. And the video is called my biggest payday prep, over 2,000 pounds of food ever. So I'm thinking, wow, this guy picked up some serious supplies. Maybe he's preparing for we're 4 weeks out, so maybe he's preparing and he's getting ready. And then as I watched the video, he actually donated this food to his local food bank. And when I saw that, I was very emotional when I saw that. So I'm gonna bring him on right now, guys. I'm gonna give you guys the link to that video that you could watch that video. And I really want you guys to share that video to everyone you have ever met in your life, because it is a very, very well made, very professional, and the whole thing just put me in it just made me wonder if I was doing enough. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Mano, ¿cómo estás? You're live.
How you doing, man? Good to see you, man. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, no, thank you for taking the time. And so there's just a lot going on right now.
Hey, Mike, before you start, let me go ahead and just say something. I did not donate that food. If it wasn't because of the community of people that are in the Alaska Prepper community, that would not have been possible. So most of the credit goes to them. I just wanted to say that. Right.
But what I'm saying is that you did it because you know it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely. People need to eat.
Right. And that was huge. And I thank you for that very much. I thank you for that very, very much for doing that. That's huge. Okay, so how you doing? What's new, man? How you doing? Okay.
Doing great, man. The weather is beautiful out here. I'm building what I'm going to call my bunker, which is really just a glorified shed. So it's going to be like a small studio. So I've been out there all day, every day for the last week and a half or so, doing some building. And hopefully I'll get it done before the end of the summer. But been keeping really busy. It's going to be part of my homestead. It's going to be a secondary structure. In Alaska, a lot of people don't think about how important a secondary heated structure is in case something happens to your home. So yeah, it'll act as a secondary structure and somewhat of a Alaska Prepper studio.
Good. So you could take all the noise off grid.
There you go.
I'm just someone trying to sleep. Oh, he's still talking. Is he gonna get off? Yeah. Luckily, I'm far away from the rest of everybody in the house too. I could be playing like rock and roll here all night, and nobody will even know I'm here, which is a good thing. Okay, so there's quite a few things happening. Let's talk about, let's go over the basics and importance, why people should prep, and then we're going to go into some controversial headlines in the news, and I want to get this side of you that you don't put on your channel. You could come here and talk about it. It's fine, but there's some things that are happening around the world, and there's somewhat controversial and things happening, and I want to get your view on it. Because it's important. I want to hear what you have to say about some of this stuff, okay? So go over some of the importance and why prepping, why you've dedicated your channel, your life, and telling the world about prepping.
Well, because I realized a really long time ago that government is not going to be here to take care of us. And rightfully so. It is not the job of government to take care of us. It's our responsibility to take care of our needs and our families' needs. So once I awakened to the fact that government is not here for the people, government is here for government, period. That's all there's to it. Once I awakened up to that fact, I realized that it's my responsibility to make sure that if something happens, and it can be anything, I'm not a doomsday prepper. I'm not prepping for the end of the world. I'm prepping for one simple thing, to make sure that if there's any kind of crisis, it could be anything. It could be a hurricane, a tornado, an earthquake, anything, that my family and I can make it through that crisis and be able to be okay on the other side. Mm-hmm. In addition to that, I want to make sure that if there is any kind of a crisis, for example, like what's happening in Venezuela or even Argentina, where there's somewhat of a financial crisis, that we can continue to maintain our standard of living that we are used to now. So instead of letting my dollars sit in the bank where they melt away every day, where the value of the dollar melts away day by day by day, instead of letting them sit there, I instead decide to invest my excess wealth in preps and in wealth preserving, like I like to call them, like gold and silver. But my main excess wealth building device is my pantry. I tell people that if they want to invest in the best stock market that they can, to stock up their pantry. Because if they look at the price of the food that they purchased a year ago and take a look at what it is today, they'd have made at least 25 to 50% return on that food. So that's mainly why I prep. I mean, we can get into different reasons or different types of preps and stuff like that, but really being prepared is just being prepared for anything. It's just like if you were driving down the road and you got a flat tire, you have a spare tire, right?
Right.
Then you're a prepper. Whether you know it or not, you're a prepper because you got that spare tire just in case something happened. Same reason people buy life insurance. Same reason people buy automotive insurance, house insurance. It's just in case. The difference here is that while you're buying food today at today's prices, it's guaranteed to be more normal. So in this case, you're actually benefiting financially. In my opinion, that is.
Right. Right. That's a really good way you put it, especially the way you put it, like you have a spare tire and, well, I got a little a first aid kit. I got a little this, a little that, an extra bottle of water. I always carry electrical black tape with me in case one of my radiator hose breaks. I could always tape up my rad hose, you know, anything. Yeah. So,
I keep a roll of electrical tape in the side of my door in my vehicle. So
it always manages to things always manage to come out when you need them at the right time, and you're always happy that you've always had what you needed, right? And that's the thing. All right, so we're gonna open our first story. So I wanted to throw it out there, and so it's I want to wish you first a happy 4th of July. That's just
same to you, man.
Yeah, just for starters, happy 4th of July for starters. And let's go over to, we got a story here I want to, this is what your country, the New York Times is reporting that if you love your country, you're probably on the right. So how do you feel before we go over this whole left-right paradigm? How do you feel of this form of divide that they're throwing everybody in the blender in a way, dividing them, well, not blending them, but dividing people, like this whole form of divide through the BS mainstream media?
Well, listen, man, I don't believe in government for one reason, because government is not here for the people.
Right.
Like I said before, government is here for government. So I don't expend my energy thinking about what government's doing or what the media is doing. In my opinion, is part of the government. All right. The Federal Reserve is part of the government. I think it's all one thing. People get stuck on the left and right paradigm. And what I like to say about that is that if you look at the two political parties, it's just like looking at an eagle. An eagle has a left wing and it has a right wing. Mm-hmm. But there's only one head that controls both wings. And their job is to control us. And a very good way by which they control us is to keep us divided. And that stuff about not loving your country, listen, I may not love my government, but I love my country because my country is not a piece of land. It's the people that make it.
That's right.
And although we have our problems here in the United States, name me one country that doesn't have problems. Although we have history in the United States of wrongdoing, name one country that doesn't have history of wrongdoing. You know, I talked about this to my Patreons here a few days ago. And I hear all of these people who are saying that they're oppressed. And I'm like, you keep protesting and screaming that you're oppressed. Why are you not screaming for the thousands of African migrants that are being openly sold in the slave trade in Libya?
Right.
Right now, there's more slaves in the world today than there ever was before. But no one is crying for them. They're crying from within a country that gave them everything that they have.
Yeah, you got
so to me,
huge amounts of slavery in China, like in in northwestern China. Huge. They get chained to desks and workbenches and stuff.
Well, to me, Mike, it's childish, and I don't listen to that crap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tune into it. I don't read into it. I care nothing about it. You know, I don't listen to it. And in the grand scheme of things, in my opinion, the reason you need to prep is because what's going to happen is going to happen. How many protests have we seen? How much change has there been?
Zero.
Protest fix absolutely nothing. It's like, I forgot who said this phrase or said this quote, but someone told their king, king, the people are protesting in mass. And the king said, let them protest all they want as long as they pay their taxes. And that's exactly where we're at. We have the freedom to protest. We have the freedom to scream, but nothing will change as long as we pay taxes.
That's a good one. That's a good quote. That's a really good one. And that's been the problem. We keep funding the organization. We keep funding the administration.
We don't. I don't fund them. We don't fund anything. I'm not sure how it is in Canada. Here in the United States, the government gets their cut of your check before you get yours.
Yeah, in Canada too. It's like a big guy.
Yeah.
I had Dominic on the show, and he said something to me that made a lot of sense. He says a lot of people don't see it like this, but when you get paid and they charge you or they tax you on your labor, it's like every Friday when you get your paycheck, there's one big goon standing outside the door of your work, taking 20% of your check right off the top. And a lot of people don't see it like that, but that's how it is.
They let us keep what we get. So as far as we funding them, we don't fund anyone. They take it from us.
Okay, they take it from us.
And that's what I would call taxation without representation. Because we don't have a choice. We live in what I like to call an open yard prison or an open plantation. We want, as long as we stay within the guidelines that our masters set for us.
Now, let me ask you something. I wanted to ask you this because I wanted to ask you this on the last time you were on the show, but I totally forgot. Is there some sort of FEMA camp there? I heard one of the biggest FEMA camps in the world is in Alaska.
I believe I've read it before. I've never seen it or driven to it. I believe that the biggest FEMA camp in the United States is located in Alaska. Don't ask me where. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, because that would be, find out where it is and maybe do some scouting around there. I'm just joking. I don't want to get you in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let me check here. We got here this other article here. Let me get your view on this one. So, guys, don't forget we got Rudy here, our man Rudy from Alaska Prepper. Okay, so here it is. Now, this one I had to double check and quadruple check to kind of make sure that this is not being made up, but this is actually real. Former police officer recounts witnessing industrialized organ harvesting in China. At the sound of a gunshot, prisoner fell lifeless to the ground. Their bodies, still warm, were carried to a nearby white van where two white-clad doctors awaited behind closed doors. They were cut open and organs carved out for the sale on the transplant market. Holy crap! And I know your religious views, but how does this make you feel that this is happening right in front of us, but everyone's worried about what color underwear Justin Bieber's wearing?
Well, Mike, I honestly think that we've been captured by not only China, but by other countries. I don't believe that the decisions that are made on the behalf of the American people are by American people and for the interest of the American people.
Right.
So I've noticed here that whenever someone, especially a sports star, right, or a Hollywood figure, whenever they talk bad about China, they very quickly change their tune. So everything that we hear in the news, I don't believe is controlled by someone who cares about our country. It's probably more likely controlled by China and maybe some other outside entities. However, I can't prove this, but that's the way I see it because, like I said, anyone that doesn't toe the line with China, what happens? 2 or 3 days later, they come back apologizing or changing their story. And as far as that happening in China, I mean, I believe it because there's been so many documentaries and there's been so many articles written on it by people that have seen it. Why in the world would someone lie about that? But like I said, until we see actual proof, we won't be able to prove it. But I do believe what's happening there, especially what happens to the Uyghurs and them being put in pretty much slave camps or re-education camps, as they like to call them. So, yeah, I mean, look, I mean, we have a lot of enemies. The United States has a lot of enemies around the world, and I would have to say rightfully so. We have abused our powers over the last several decades. We have abused it, and eventually there will come a time where we have to pay up. And that's why we need to be prepared. Because even though the people that made the decisions that will affect us, it's not going to affect them. When people are starving in the streets because we have a financial collapse and there's no way for them to eat, those people that made the decisions that made that financial collapse happen, they're going to be eating steak. All right. Those people in California that are going without water because of the mega drought that's happening in the west part of the U.S.
Right.
The government, the decisions that the government made on their behalf, that's keeping the farmers from getting enough water, keeping the ranchers from getting enough water, keeping the people from having to be rationed with water. Those people are taking half-hour showers, and they're filling up their 13,000-gallon pools, and they got their air conditioning out on, and they don't care about rolling blackouts. So like I said before, a lot of these things that people concentrate on, there's nothing that we can do about it. That's why I'm so insistent that we all prepare for what happens, because the people atop that make the decisions, they make them carelessly because they know that they're not the ones that are going to have to pay the price.
Okay. That's a good comeback there. Okay. Huge economic boost. Here we go, guys. New West Virginia law makes gun and ammo purchases tax free. Let me get a round of applause for that.
Outstanding. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. So they're making gun and ammo purchases tax free in West Virginia. I think that's good.
It should be tax free. The more armed that a citizenry is, the better for the national security of that country.
I don't doubt one bit. I 100 million percent.
And that's not just something that I'm saying. That's coming from experience. Why do you think that we didn't win the Vietnamese War? Why do you think we did not win the Iraq or the Afghanistan War?
Right,
you know why? Because
the last war America won was World War II.
Well, and these weren't even wars. There were civil actions. But the reason we didn't win any of those wars, 2 reasons. One, it was not in our turf, number one. But number 2 is because I can speak personally for Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, there is a firearm in every single home. In Afghanistan, if you're a man and you don't own an AK-47, you're not a man. That's why we're pulling out of Afghanistan, because there's no way that an invading country can win a foot war when the citizenry is armed. No possible way.
That's a good comeback on that one. That's great. In the high school I'm in, there's a firearms. The high school here in my town has a firearms class for rifles and stuff for hunting.
That's great.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah. So I was kind of, whoa, okay, I want my kid in that 100%, Okay.
I mean, think about it. Think about it. How do you learn how to drive a car? You take some classes, right? Or your father or your mother teaches you.
Right.
Same thing with a firearm, right? You can take some classes or your parents can teach you.
Yeah.
I don't think it ought to be regulated that you have to take the classes, because parents are supposed to be teachers. First and foremost, they're supposed to teach their children how to be good people. So I don't think that ought to be regulated, but that's how you learn. So So them having a firearms class in your local high school, I think that's a great thing. I think they ought to do that in every school.
Yeah. So here it is. This is just coming out a few minutes ago, coming on the wire here. Someone just messaged this to me from the Middle East. They're telling me that, and I got photos here, Israeli cargo ship gets attacked by an unknown weapon, catches fire in the Indian Ocean. So this is coming to us right now. Here is the image of it, guys, right there. There is the image. Let me put it on full screen for you guys to see. An Israeli ship caught fire, and right now in the middle. So what are your views on what's happening in the Middle East? I know we could talk about the Middle East for 3 days straight, but how do you feel about the Middle East? I mean, they've been having conflict there since the time of Jesus, or before the time of Jesus. So tell us, what do you feel is going on? Do you think that could be the epicenter of the next war? Could it be where the next false flag happens? Could it be like anything? What do you think? What's your feelings on the Middle East? What do you feel?
Well, my view on the Middle East is that there will always be war there. Mm-hmm. And the reason is because there are opposing ideologies. And you cannot beat an ideology out of a person, right? So let me give you a little story. I saw a movie a long time ago, really long time ago, but it was about this priest, a Catholic priest that went to China, like back in the 1500s or something like that, right? And he went to China with the hopes of converting Chinese people into Catholics. Mm-hmm. Well, the government got a hold of him, and they made him rescind his religion, right? They made him rescind his religion by threat of death. And then they kept him there, and they made him marry a Chinese woman.
Okay. This is a true story, and I'm going to tell you what there's a movie that Martin Scorsese's made. It takes place in, I think it's 1596, and it was when the Portuguese went to Japan to spread Christianity, and then it was Father Ferreira, because they have his diary. Father Ferreira was the father who was persecuted for bringing Christianity to Japan because it brought people hope. And a bunch of priests went to go rescue him.
That's right. It was Japan. That's right. It was Japan. But this is where I'm getting at with ideology. That person, that father, he lived the rest of his life there, and he died there. Okay. When they buried him, and every year they would give him a test, and the test was that he had to stand on a cross.
Right.
So that they know that he has rescinded his religion. And when he died with a cross in his hands. Right. So even after all of those decades, his ideology was still intact. We will never change the ideology of what is the Middle East. We can bomb them all we want. We will never change it, no matter what. In my opinion, look, Mike, if you were my neighbor, all right, and you did something I didn't like, but it wasn't hurting me, who am I to tell you what to do? I feel the same way about the Middle East. It's their country. If they're doing things that we don't like, who are we to tell them what to do? When we have so many problems here in our own nation, we've spent over $8 trillion in the Afghan and Iraq war. And we've lost, I believe, over 6,000 American lives, not counting the other lives from other countries. And when we leave there, we will be leaving there worse than when we got there.
That's correct.
So we need to get the hell out of there, come here, take care of our country, take care of our borders. And when I say take care of our country, I don't mean take care of our people. I mean take care of our country. Do what government is supposed to do. All right? Defend the country. All right? Act as a judicial party so that people that have disagreements can figure that stuff out.
Right.
And leave us the hell alone so we can be free and we can do what we want as long as we're not hurting anyone else.
You know who you sound like when you say that, right? You sound like one of the senators in your country, Ron Paul.
Oh, you know what? I like Ron. I don't want to say a love-hate relationship with Ron Paul, but one of the biggest problems that I have with Ron Paul is I love that he's a constitutionalist. He is the champion of the Constitution. That's his nickname. But Mike, this is the problem that I have with politicians that are good, right? Because I say, I estimate that there's maybe 5% of the politicians that are good. The problem that I have is that they don't tell the people the truth. They have an audience. They should get up on their pedestal and tell America, listen, America, I know you don't want to hear this, but it's not the government's job to send you a check every month. Mm-hmm. It's not the government's job to babysit your kids. It's not the government's job to do any of that. The government, this country is the most indebted country in the world. And every single citizen in the United States is more than $85,000 in debt. Every taxpayer, almost $250,000 in debt. Will stand up and tell people the truth. They have to get reelected. Once a politician gets elected, they start immediately working on how to get reelected. That's the problem that I have with politicians that are so-called good politicians. Mm-hmm. Why won't they just say the truth?
Well, you saw what happened to Kennedy when he wanted to get rid of the Fed and all that other stuff. I don't think the question is, let me rephrase this question. Are they allowed to say the truth? Like, let's be really frank here, straight up. Yeah, we know this. We know the Fed. We know the backing. We understand the currencies now. We understand. We could go into war. We could go into everything. But are they really allowed? Let's say they did. But then...
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They are, Mike. Listen, when we were born, every single person that is born of free will.
Right.
All right? When they were born of free will. Now, if you're threatened, you still have free will. And check this out. For all of those military, being that tomorrow's the 4th of July, right? It also has a little to do with the military, and all that kind of stuff. But for all these military members, when they signed that contract, they knew what they were signing.
Right.
They knew that they may have to go to war and that they may die. Same thing with these politicians. When they signed that contract and said that we will uphold, that we would defend and uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, they're saying that they're going to do the right thing no matter what. Mm-hmm. But they decide not to. And that's the problem that I have with the bad politicians. They're garbage. They're never going to be fixed. But there are some politicians out there that I would say that they love their country. They love their citizenry. They love their constituents and they want to do the right thing. Then why don't they do the right thing and tell us the truth? The reason is because man's greatest weakness is his family. Right. And I can understand that they get threatened, or that they may get threatened and stuff like that. However, then they should have never taken. If they weren't willing to stand up there and tell the truth and tell people what they need to know and give them hard love, then they should have never taken the job. They should have left it to someone else that would have taken it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
You got me heating up. That.
It's getting hectic. It's getting hectic here tonight on Mike in the Night. And it's pretty hot. You know how hot it is here, Mano? It's like...
No.
It's like this whole week it's been over 35, 40 centigrade. So that's like 120 Fahrenheit.
Well, you can keep it, man. Yesterday it was a blistering 87 degrees here.
Wow.
And I had to turn on my AC.
You have an AC in Alaska?
Hey, man, I got to keep my pantry cool.
I didn't know. Let's get some graphic here. I know it gets warm, but I didn't think, But, okay, so let's go over now COVID, our friend Covey here. So we're getting a report out of Sydney here from the last hour. In Sydney, Australia, COVID cases expected to decline. In the state of Victoria records no new locally acquired cases. Now, are we on the tail end of seeing the end of COVID, or is this the end of COVID so we could bring in the Delta ball juice variant, or is it like what's the deal? How do you feel on that? What do you feel on the rollout of COVID and now with the roll in of what do you think is happening here?
Well, the thing that really surprised me is that on September 18th of 2019. They had an event called 201, which pretty much predicted every single thing that's happened since. Number one, all right? So I digress on that. But it's all about never let a crisis go to waste.
Right.
They are going to milk this until there's no milk left. They're going to milk this until there's no milk left. And unfortunately, Unfortunately, the average person doesn't have the cognitive ability to understand what's happening as far as their freedoms being stripped from them, and as far as them becoming a dependent class, which is going to end up being the lower class once they finish with their agenda, with this health crisis.
Mm-hmm. Health crisis. When you say that, it sounds like a really bad cell phone plan.
I'm just saying it like that. I'm just used to saying it like that anymore.
It sounds like a terrible. So, like, I went to this years ago. I go, sir, is this phone unlimited? He would do this to me. Watch this. Yes, it's unlimited. And I said, can you say that without doing this? He goes, no, it's unlimited. I'm like, yeah. So the tail end. So now, there's obviously rumors. This rumor's been going around for a long time. I've had people tell me face-to-face, people at high-level, professional levels in communities and very high-level government levels have told me to my face that they've been on conference calls for work and they're talking about, let's say, some health, or they're talking about some sort of whatever they're talking about, whether it's business or whatnot. They bring up an extra agenda. They say, how could we make climate crisis become like COVID, where we lock down the world? And they're asking people openly on speakerphone what they think and how they could create a way so that we can lock down the world so we don't further climate change. This is crazy.
Well, it's a crazy world, man. I mean, we can go down so many rabbit holes. I think that the world's governments are realizing that they're not going to be able to control the people too much longer, and that they have to try to do everything they can possibly do to gain that control and keep it. I feel that we are going to go into a period of where we are seriously oppressed, and control of the people by these governments will be very hard. And then I feel that after that period, that we will have another. It may be a worldwide revolution against governments, because the thing is people in general, people will take what they can take until they can't take no more. You know what I mean?
Do you remember? Let me tell you something. I brought this up here. I brought the video up, the little clip. There's a little clip that I bring up on the show here on Mike in the Night. I brought it up a few times, and it's the reason why. The reason why, and it actually talks about what you just said there. They still speak, and they will always speak Portuguese in Brazil, and there's a reason why. And he says that when the Spanish came, they came telling everyone who's boss, and the natives ripped them to shreds. Then when the Portuguese came, they came bearing gifts, trinkets, they intermingled, they intermarried, they built civilization, they built cities, they built towns, and the Portuguese just kept giving them things so that if they fought back, they had something to lose. And the Portuguese always gave. And that's why the Spanish just went there and ripped everything apart, guns blazing, showing everyone who's boss. And that clip is from the Furious 5 movie, Fast and Furious 5. And he said exactly, if you give people, once people have nothing and they get pushed far enough and they have nothing, then they start fighting back.
Yep. Once you have nothing to lose, you lose it.
Yep. And
so eventually we will come to that, Mike. I did a live stream I think it was yesterday, and I talked about the Tytler cycle, Tytler, and it's a cycle that was made back in the late 1700s, I believe, by Alexander Tytler, and it's just a cycle of the human experience. And at first, you start with oppression, and then after oppression, you turn to spiritual guidance.
Right.
Like you're so oppressed that you turn to your God and try to work it out that way. Because that gives you hope. Once you find out that it doesn't work, you get courage and you fight back.
Right.
And then once you fight back for liberty, then after liberty, you have abundance. Then after abundance, you have selfishness. Then after that, you have laziness. Then after that, you have apathy. Then after that, you go back to dependence. And then after that, you start it all over again. And it's about an 80 to 100-year cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I believe that we are in the middle part of the dependence.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to say we're in the middle part of everything. I'm like, no. Okay, if we're middle part of dependence, then it's good. Then it's okay. So then we're reaching the tail end of it.
Yeah, not really, because after dependence comes oppression.
I think we're all oppressed right now, but with these lockdowns and suicidal rates are up, opioid and fentanyl overdoses.
Hey, Mike, check this out. Do you think that we're oppressed compared to China?
You know what? Once they bring in the social credit score here in the West, and
exactly.
Canada's ahead of you guys right now. Canada's ahead with their facial recognition software that they're using now in our airports and they're using on our streets right now.
Yeah, so that's why I say we're not oppressed yet. You compare us against China, we're not oppressed nearly enough.
But does it have to get to like that?
I think it'll get worse than that. Are the Chinese fighting back yet? Are the Chinese people fighting back yet? No, they're not. It'll get worse. And wait till they come out with a digital currency, with a centrally banked digital currency where they can tell you what you can and cannot buy, where they can take money away from you. They can demonetize your life.
That's right.
With a push of a button. Wait till they come out with that. Then we'll be oppressed. Then people will start to wake up. Then people will start to wake up. But I think it'll take a generation before people build up the courage to fight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a very slow-moving train, my friend. It's a slow-moving train.
It is. It's a slow-moving train. Now, Darwin. Now, we did a Mike in the Night 3 years ago where we're talking about Darwin, Australia, Northern Australia, where they rolled out the 5G / facial recognition / and what was that? What was that? The social data tracking software that they rolled out in Northern Australia via China. They got the software from China. Now, how do you feel about this? How do you feel how China's got the back door on a lot of electronics? And we're hearing about these cyber attacks on on food stores and oil pipelines and all this stuff. I don't know if it's real, but could it be tied to China having the back door to some software? I mean, could it be connected?
I don't know, but pretty much we let China do whatever they want. I did a video a while back where I got some notifications from Google showing me where I went every day for the last 30 days. And I was flabbergasted because one of those notifications had a picture from the inside of my vehicle. And I was like, how in the world did they take this picture? And you could see the crack on my windshield and you could tell that it was my truck. And I was like, how in the world did they take this picture from my phone from inside my vehicle? Well, it was at a coffee shop. I visit a coffee shop, one of those drive-through coffee shops every once in a while. And normally when I drive, I don't like to listen to the radio. I just listen to a podcast.
Mike in the Night.
So the only thing I can think about is that while I was waiting behind the vehicle in front of me, I picked up my phone to look for a podcast and they took a picture. So we have absolutely no privacy. And during that video, I pulled up an article where a general in the United States Army, I think the article was about 5 years old. I think it was 2016, where a general in the United States Army was pretty much saying that they'll be able to listen in on what we're talking about through our appliances.
Right.
So right now, they're listening to what we're talking about through my refrigerator and my dryer. Now, that's what he was saying. So when I read that article and then I see what's going on today with these backdoor hacks and stuff like that, it's very, very easy for me to believe that that's what's going on.
Now, I got a message here in our live chat from Muzzleflash, and Muzzleflash wants you to know that Alaska Prepper, it is a mandatory QR code app, okay, for your phone to enter supermarkets and other venues in Australia. So they're making Yeah, we had
Wow,
someone
that's
last week on Mike in the Night from Victoria, from Melbourne, Australia, that told us the QR codes to get in to do things, and if you don't have the QR code, you just can't get in to certain areas, or they're going to make it hard to get. Let's just say it this way: it's going to be hard to buy food and feed your family if you don't have the proper QR code or the right papers.
That's right, Mike. So you better be careful what you say. See? You see what I mean? You better be careful what you say, but you may not get that QR code. So you were talking about how we are so oppressed. We're not that oppressed yet, because one of these days you're going to go to use your QR code when that reality comes to Canada. All right, you're going to go to use your QR code and it's not going to work, and you're going to go find out why. They're going to tell you need to shut your fat mouth. That's what they're going to tell you. Code to work, you need to shut your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, once that happens, that'll be, in my opinion, once that happens, we will be in the beginning of the oppression cycle. And it'll take a half a generation before we get to that spiritual, and then another half a generation before we get to that courage, and then finally to liberty. And this is just what I think, Mike. This is just what I think. It's not that, so.
Yes, hay mucho calor. Es muy caliente. It's so hot.
Bebe agua, bebe agua.
¿Qué estás tomando? ¿Agua?
Agua.
Yeah, me too. I got lemon water here too. And it's like a little sauna in this room, but that's okay. It's okay. I've been through worse Mike in the Nights. But yeah, the thing is, I'm going to be really, really frank with you. I'm very happy with how things have worked out through my life. I'm a 43-year-old man, and I'm very happy the way things worked out. And I'll tell you why. Just from today, for example. Today I had this week. Let's say this week. I've had 13, 14 people from my channel come visit me at my store. I'm a very accessible person. Like, if somebody wants to come and see me, my town is small, and my store is pretty much the only toy store in town. So people wouldn't have like a hard time finding me if they need to, right? So I have nothing to hide from. If the day I'm not allowed and to buy my food because I talk too much, then it's the day I realize that maybe relocating or finding other means. I'm dual citizen. Like, I'm European, Canadian. I could just move back to Portugal. I moved to the Azores. The Azores better.
Mike, eventually, the plan is this. The plan is for this to be throughout the world, not just one or two countries. So, have you heard about by 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy?
Yeah, they've been talking about that since the year 2006.
Yeah, this is a world plan. This is not just a one country plan. But the thing is, Mike, is this. It's like I tell my community members, there's nothing that we can do about it. What can you do, Mike? What can you do to change what's coming? What can you do to change what's coming?
Well, there's one thing we could do, and it's we could open minds. We could free people.
That's it.
Do you know? Okay. Let me say something. Do you know Bob Marley? Now, Bob Marley was obviously a reggae singer from just outside of Kingston, Jamaica. And he basically, the only way he could be political without being political is by singing his music.
Yeah.
And this is during the British oppression of Jamaica. And he said in one of his songs, "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None of ourselves but us can free our minds." So there's nobody else but us who could free our own minds. Mental slavery.
Get out of the system mentally, in addition of getting out of the system as much as you can in the physical form. The more people that get out of the system and wake up, the easier that the transition will be when we get to the courage phase and people actually have to fight for the freedoms of the masses. Because most people will not fight. Only a very few people will actually fight.
And that's the part. It's just once people, and then the song goes on to exactly what you just said. He says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves could free our mind. Whoa, have to fear for atomic energy because none of us can stop the time. Then he says,
That's
how
right.
long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? They say it's just a part of it. We have to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing? These songs of freedom is all I've ever had.
It's like I was talking to you, apathy. You know, you walk down New York Street, New York City, or you walk down LA, and there's 1,000 homeless people, and people are just walking right by them. You know, it's when we start to lose our human touch. You know, what makes us human. You know, you walk down the street. I'm not talking about Alaska, because here, I love Alaska. You know, here people are very cordial, and you can pretty much just talk to anyone in the street. And if you are walking down the street, someone's hurting, you'll definitely see people trying to help.
Right.
But, you know, I see videos from California homeless, Las Vegas homeless, and Illinois, New York, PA. People just walk right past these people like they didn't even exist. And once we start to lose our human touch, it's a lot easier for them to control us, because there will come a point where even we don't look at ourselves as human anymore. We'll look at our fellow man and not even consider them human anymore. So yeah, man, it's like it's the division of our countries is so widespread. They've done a really good job. I mean, the mainstream media and the government, they've done a really good job at making sure that the people are separated, that the people are fighting against each other. They've done a very good job. I mean, I think that I forgot the name of the person that came up with propaganda. I forgot his name, but he'd be proud. He'd be very proud of what the government's done with the propaganda machine that they unleashed on the American people.
It's almost like the build-up to World War II. In 1931, 1932, you had that whole Germany recovering from World War I, and the whole inflation and people spending $1 billion to buy a loaf of bread, and you start that build-up, and then the hatred started, then the divide started, and then the whole amassing of the army started. And then the military-industrial complex in Germany by 1939, they had one of the biggest. They invented blitzkrieging. They've gone from poverty to a full employment by 1939. Germany was fully employed, the whole country. The unemployment rate was like 0%, and they went from oppression to. So you could kind of see what you told me earlier. From the fall of Germany in World War I right to the start of World War II, you kind of see that what you just said earlier, that little wheel.
It's just a cycle, man. I like to tell people that the way that I look at humanity and the way that I look at the world, it's just a mathematical formula. I'm not sure if you've heard of the Fibonacci sequence.
Yes, the Fibonacci is everything happens for a reason, and when things happen, it's already yeah. Yeah,
and it's going to come back around. A formula always comes back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. And human nature, being that we are part of nature, we don't have a choice. We continue to do the same things generations after generations. And you know what? 100 years from now, Mike, whoever is here, sitting here, they'll be going probably through the same thing that we're going through today.
Yeah.
Just in a different time.
Oh, yeah. All right,
People don't like to learn.
Well, the problem is people don't learn from their mistakes. And remember, the victors always write the history, right? So you're never going to get the full histories because you're always going to get the one side of the story, right? If you told people that, hey, did you know that Poland invaded Germany 2 times before Germany invaded Poland? People will tell you you're crazy. No, yes, Poland invaded Germany 2 times before the Germany retaliated back in 1939 because the British government said they will back Poland, and then the British government withdrew the backing of Poland after Poland invaded Germany. And then that's why the Polish troops retreated back across their border. People wouldn't believe that. They'll be like, no, Poland will never invade Germany first. Yeah, they did. Twice.
Just like in the United States, George Washington wasn't really the first president. There were presidents before George Washington. They had like 6-month to 1-year terms.
Right.
And so, they don't teach that in school.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that a lot of people don't know, that they asked George Washington if he wanted to be the king, and he declined. Right. He declined being king of America, of New England or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the only form of government that I would agree with, the only form would be a republic, which is what the United States of America is on paper. Mm-hmm. We are a republic. That's the only form of government that I would ever agree with. However, we've become what's called a democracy. And in my opinion, a democracy is one of the most destructive forms of government, because what it allows is it allows the 51% of the people tell the other 49% how they're going to live their lives.
It's almost like let me get your reaction or ask you about one of your favorite shows that you like to watch. I want to ask if you could want to talk about it a bit. The View. I know you love watching The View, and I'm Joe.
The View. What's The View? Oh no, I don't watch TV. I don't have cable. So the View is the ladies, right?
Yeah, it's a bunch of ladies telling a bunch of pregnant women at home how to live their lives, how to spend their money, what to do, what their husband should do for them, and they're all over politics, like stormtroopers into Poland. They're all over politics. And what really pisses me off about people like Rachel Maddow and all those people, they try to tell people how to live their lives, and they're in a different financial financial position than 99% of the people they're talking to and telling them how to live their lives.
It's their job, though, man. That's what their masters tell them to do. That's their job. That's what their masters tell them to do. They don't have a choice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Those people, in my opinion, those people are very heavily controlled. They are told what to say, when to say it. They don't have freedom of speech on their shows. They say whatever they want. I mean, they say what they are told to say, or they stick to whatever agenda they are supposed to stick to.
Well, I have a question to ask. I wanted to ask you this. It came and gone. Right? It's back here, so I'm going to ask you now. UFOs, they're all over the news now. They're being cited, and there's been Canadian legislation, Canadian people, like Canadian high levels of government saying UFOs exist. We've been in contact with them. We've this and that, and then they have no reason to lie. They're just like, this is it. It's been happening for decades and years now, and we know. So, do they need this as a cover, or are they just letting us know so we could create some other distraction? Are we going to see first contact soon?
I mean, I have no idea, man. I mean, anyone who's studied anything about our universe knows that there's probably trillions of possible planets that can hold life.
Yeah.
And being that those planets are billions of light years away means that they're a lot older than our planet is.
Right.
Meaning that each of those planets that would harbor life, they're probably a life form that's much more advanced than we are, because they're so much older than we are. So, yeah, do I believe that there's life outside of the Earth? Yes, I believe it because of the probability. Not because I've seen it, not because I've met some, extraterrestrial, but because of the probability, because of mathematics. Mathematics says that there has to be other planets within our universe that have life in them, and the possibility of them being a lot more advanced than we are is even greater, because they're from so far away.
Yeah.
If they're heat stuff, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I wouldn't not believe it if they say, yeah, there's UFOs there. I wouldn't not believe it. I would like to see it for myself.
Sure.
And again, going back to the government. That's why government is terrible. They've known, if this is true, they've known about it for what, 50 years?
Since I don't know, man.
Since Roswell in the U.S. that UFO supposedly crashed. So if they known about it, why haven't they told us about it? We pay their darn salaries. Why haven't they told us about it? They know about it.
Yeah.
You know, of course they'll come up with, of course, it's national security.
Okay.
So,
We got Geek in Me Out is saying, guys, I've been feeling tensions in the air, unsafe when I go outside. Can you maybe comment on what's happening with these massive crime waves in the lower 48? I mean, there's massive crime waves, mano. I'm watching the news, man. It's like another this, that, a mass shooting here, and a this, and that, and then a guy went nuts on somebody at a gas station. This guy here, and this guy drove his car into this. It's like, wow. It's like, what's happening?
It's really, in my opinion, Mike, the United States of America is the most heavily medicated country in the world.
And the biggest drug-consuming country in the world, too. Like, illegal drugs.
I mean medicated.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I mean, medicated.
Oh, okay.
Drugs. So the United States of America is the most medicated drug in the world. That to me probably says it all. I mean, you combine that with people that lost everything in the last year. Everything they worked for, they lost because they were made home and their business is gone. You combine that with the financial system that is made to steal your dollars, to steal your wealth every single day, where people can't achieve as much greatness as they possibly could had the government not stealing so much wealth from them. You know, you combine that with people not being able to feed their kids. You know, it's just a formula for disaster. And that's probably what's going on. I mean, people are so stressed out because a lot of them don't even know where in the world they're going to come up with their next meal to feed their families. I mean, we are going to turn into a Venezuela. We will turn into a Venezuela one day. That's how I feel. And it's going to be bad because in Venezuela, about 1 or 2% of the people are very well off. They are very well off, but the rest are not. And I think that's what we will eventually become. Eventually, our money will become worthless unless they come out with this new world currency they're talking about, you know, and they have some kind of a plan, you know, behind the curtains that they're going to implement. But I think that we'll see a Venezuela future in the United States once we lose our Federal Reserve note, world reserve currency status.
Well, a lot of countries have lost faith in the American dollar. A lot of countries have lost faith in carrying and holding U.S. dollars, because I know that China, since I think it was 2015, it's been selling U.S. treasuries to buy gold, and so has Russia. And they're creating all these other little baskets, like wealth baskets of other countries, like the BRICS and all these other guys, basically working together to get off the U.S., taking U.S. off life support, is what it is.
Yeah. Listen, you know what, Mike? I mean, when I say the United States of America, I don't mean the people. I mean the government.
I know what you mean.
But when the U.S. had such a privilege, we were gifted such a privilege in 1944 to be able to hold the world's wealth and then be able to have the world reserve currency. That's like a privilege. You know, that's like you going to the Olympics and getting the gold medal. And we took that and we crapped all over it. So unfortunately, the gig is going to be up soon. When? Don't ask me when, but the gig will be up. And all of those past credences, we're going to end up paying for them. Because energy needs energy. That $28.5 trillion that we're in debt, that's energy that has to be performed in order to pay that back. So we are going to end up like Venezuela, because there's no possible way, absolutely no possible way in the world that we can pay back $28.5 trillion, in addition to the $120 trillion that we have in liabilities.
Unless
you know,
they hyperinflate,
like Social Security.
They could pay it back if they hyperinflate the currency to devalue all the money, and then people become pretty much in poverty overnight, and they could just pay back their debt, just like Tanzania, or what's that country that has a $26 trillion bill or $16 trillion bill? So,
well, here you go, right here.
Hold on, it's kind of
that's
is that Zimbabwe?
100 trillion. Yeah, $100 trillion bill.
Wow. You know, you could buy, like, I think, what can you get with that in that country? Can you buy a Coke with that?
No, it's no good anymore. This is no good anymore.
No, but I'm saying if you were in that country with that money, would that buy you at least a Coke?
No, it's no good anymore.
No sirve más.
No, but Mike, the thing is that when you think about it, if you get down to the nitty gritty, it doesn't matter how much the U.S. hyperinflates the dollar; it'll never be able to pay off the debt.
Okay,
it's impossible. When the Federal Reserve note and the Federal Reserve was created, they knew that the debt would never, ever be able to get paid off. Never. And especially once we became the world reserve currency, the only way in order to stay a world reserve currency, you have to continuously run a deficit because you have to supply the world with dollars. And the only way to supply the world with dollars is to have a deficit. Because if you don't have a deficit, it means that you're taking in all of those dollars that you put out. And the world needs dollars in reserves because we are the world reserve currency.
Cash velocity.
So it's impossible to help that. Yeah, impossible.
Okay, so we got, let me ask you a question here from M. There's an article several articles circulating, and this is true. I checked. I spoke to a person that works in the correction facility in Los Angeles, and she's saying, yes, they are releasing inmates if they take the jab. So the jab, the serum, the injection, whatever you want to call it. So if this is supposed to make your life, you're supposed to live longer, it's supposed to protect you, why won't they just double their sentence in jail for taking the jabs because they might live longer? You know, I'm being sarcastic here. What the heck is going on with that?
Oh, goodness. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't judge anyone that's taken the jab. In my opinion, it's no good. And I will never do it unless somebody puts a gun in my head or forces me by, strapping me in a gurney and doing it. But you know what? That's what freedom is all about. We're supposed to be a free nation. So if I don't want to take it, then I'm not taking it. I'm not having my kids take it or nothing like that. Mm-hmm. If you want to go take it, listen, I have a very good friend that told me that she got the jab. And it's like they say, everyone that's gotten it says, hey, I got it. So she did the same thing. Hey, I got the jab, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, good for you. Good for you. And then she asked me, are you going to get it? I'm like, no. And she said, why? I said, because it's my choice, just like it was your choice to take it. Mm-hmm. And she said, okay. So you want to take it? By all means, take it, man. I want you to live the best life that you can live. All right. And if that means for you going and getting vaccinated for whatever disease, then go ahead and do it. Right. Just don't ask me to live the life that you want me to live because it's not yours. It's mine.
Yeah, well, then 100%.
What I don't understand about people that get angry at people that haven't gotten the jab is this. If you've gotten the jab, then you're vaccinated, right? You're protected. Then what the hell do you care if I'm not?
That's Richard Pryor. You know Richard Pryor?
Yeah, of course.
Famous American comedian. He said the same thing. He's up on stage. I think he was at the Paramount. I don't know where he was on doing this bit. He goes, somebody came up to me and asked me if I took my vaccine. And I said, what, like, why, like, sir, you need to take this vaccination because they were going to go film a movie in Arizona. It's like, it's best you take a vaccination. And he goes, why should I take the vaccine? If everybody else is vaccinated, why the hell should they care if I'm not? And that's going back to 1986, 87. Richard Pryor was on stage making fun of that. And here we are today. And it's like, it's all hell bent whacked out. It's crazy.
Hey, Mike. Mike, I want to tell Anna K.
Yeah?
Anna K. I love Ayn Rand.
Iron Man?
Ayn Rand, A-Y-N, Rand, mm-hmm. The author.
Yes.
That wrote book. So what's her name? Anna K on the chest. Anna K said, AP is an objectivist.
Yes.
So I wanted to tell her I love Ayn Rand.
Okay. Oh.
Because it has to do with Ayn Rand's philosophy.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, yeah. I'm getting it now. It takes me sometimes. I'm Portuguese, so it takes a little while for the punchline to hit me here. So we got another celebrity here in the comments. You see King Cash YouTube, but you see the comments there, King Cash YouTube? He's got a really
King
good
Cash,
channel.
yes, I see it.
Yeah, he's got a really good channel too. He puts out a lot of good, really good, thoughtful, out of the box discussion. He's good. He's really good. And I've been trying to bribe him to come on the show and talk to us.
You know, we need to spread the word. You know, a long time ago, I said, I don't care how many prepper channels there are.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there were a million, or more than a million. That would be more people. So yeah, we need to have good people spreading the word. Even if you're only reaching 100 people, that could mean everything. So yeah, people need to spread the word on what's going on and what we need to do. It just happens to be that my forte is preparing. So that's how I spread the word. Is it can be, allowing people to know to prep.
Let me tell you something. I know it doesn't seem like it because of all of this technology and what's surrounding us and stuff. But do you know what we're doing? We're preaching. I mean, we're not preaching gospel, but we're preaching. We're doing the same thing that we would do on 4th Avenue in downtown Manhattan, holding up a sign and talking to people and trying to get people's attention. I mean, we're preachers. Like, I mean, yeah, we're not preaching gospel, but we're preaching the right thing. We're preaching.
Yeah, you could.
We're messengers, is what we are. Whether we like it or not, we're giving a message here. We're not journalists.
I agree with you. Yep, I agree with you.
You know, because journalists are all a bunch of liars, so or have to follow the status quo. Hey, we're just here. We're messengers. We're just that's all we're doing. We have, and you know what's there are times that we discuss and we have we bring up political demands because that's part of our free will. We're always going to have political demands our whole lives till we die. We'll have political demands. It's when we can't have and we can't express those political demands, or we get shot for it, or persecuted or taken away, then we got ourselves a big problem.
Yeah, eventually that day will come. I'm not sure if it'll be in my days, but eventually it'll be here. You know what, Mike? I was hoping that all of this stuff would come and pass before I left this earth in the physical form, so that I could have what I would call a good death. Meaning that I know that my children will be in a free, environment where they can flourish. But I mean, I'm not sure if it'll happen in my lifetime, because like I said, these things move like a slow moving train. It's very, very slow. And that's the only way that you can get a people to comply and to do stupid things, is by getting them to do it very slowly, one step at a time. So I don't know. We'll see though. I mean, I don't want there to be a fight, but I think eventually it's going to take a fight for us to win back our humanity. Not even our freedom, but our humanity.
Well, there's a couple of priests or preachers or priests, I think, that have been arrested here in Canada for opening their churches and stuff and during lockdowns. There's all kinds of... Canada's going through Bill C-10, apparently got shot down today. And Bill C-36 in Canada is a bill that they could go back 20 years and arrest me for something I said 20 years ago. You can't make this up. You can't make this up.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, I believe it. I believe it, man. I believe it.
So I'm not sure what's going to happen anymore. I'm not sure. We need to get broadcasting license if we want to broadcast. And like I said, we're not journalists. We're messengers, and we have a message. Whether it is people could take it any way they like, But it's just now when we have a message, we have this opposition that's already armed with you're a racist, you're a liar, you're what else is there? What are they saying now? A Nazi, like a white supremacist. There's all kinds of crap they bring up now in their arsenal of comebacks. And this violence that's spreading across America. It's crazy.
That's why I like it where I'm at, Mike. I like it up here because I really don't like crowds. I don't like a lot of people. And it just happens to be that the majority of the people that I've come across here in Alaska are outstanding people.
Yeah.
I mean, just the other day, I went to get a haircut and we were waiting outside, and this young man, came up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in line, and this guy's in line next and whatever. And he's a junior in high school, and we started talking about money. And I'm like, do you know what real money is? And we spent like 20 minutes. I spent like 20 minutes teaching him what high school didn't.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. I like the openness of the people here. And like in other states or more populated areas, if you try to talk to someone that you didn't know, they'd be like, who do you think you're talking at?
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't want to have anything to do with you. But here it's different. Here, in my opinion, here is people are more open, to be an average human being, that actually talks to someone and says hello. When you pass someone in the street, hey, hello, how you doing? Good morning. Beautiful weather, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it makes for a more civilized society. But we've lost that a long time ago in a lot of parts of the United States and the world.
Yeah. And, division, divide and conquer tactic. It's the oldest rule in the book. Sun Tzu, the book of what is that? The Book of War. There, he basically breaks it down on how to demoralize your enemy, how to break him down. The art of war. Yeah.
Yep.
But have I taken too much of your time? Do you want to go?
No, brother. If you got more stuff for me, I'll stay on with you.
I want to ask you on this one. Bitcoin and energy debate. Now we're on a Bitcoin and energy debate. Oh, it consumes too much energy to create Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. Can you unwind this Mickey Mouse for us?
Yeah, it's very simple, Mike. All of the banks, central banks, they're buying Bitcoin right now on the dip.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to get it down, keep it down so that they can buy their fill. And then when they buy their fill, they're going to let it go up. And everyone that got out at 30,000 after they bought at 60,000, which is the average person in the street that don't know nothing about it, they're going to be left out in the street. That's all it is. It's called fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Every single bull market in cryptos, they come up with this kind of stuff so that the market can dip and people can buy on the cheap. They're called waves. But Bitcoin's not going anywhere. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist or a crypto maximalist saying, no, this is the only thing. I just say it as I see it. Bitcoin's not going anywhere. I just did a short video on my second channel where I was talking about that 650 U.S. banks are going to offer Bitcoin to more than 24 million of their customers. Do you think that Bitcoin is going anywhere? It ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Panama.
Yes.
Panama is going to adopt Bitcoin. El Salvador made Bitcoin part of their legal tender. Paraguay also, and I think another one of those South American countries. Mm-hmm. Venezuela uses Bitcoin. They use other cryptocurrencies. That's the way that family members that are outside of Venezuela send their family members money, so that by the time the money gets there, it's not devalued into nothing.
Yeah.
Because in Venezuela, they'll take away the dollars if they send them dollars over the mail.
That's right.
They use cryptos aren't going anywhere. Whether you like it or not, it's going to be part of our lives henceforth. One day we will be trading, and we better hope that Bitcoin and cryptos don't go anywhere, so that we can have an option other than a centrally banked digital currency, because that's where we're going.
So I got my buddy Juan here who's messaging me here on my Facebook saying, in Spanish, he's saying, buenas noches, Mike. Estoy aquí en San Salvador y tenemos cripto. Estamos utilizando lo cryptocurrency. So it's basically saying he's in San Salvador and he's saying that we are using crypto here. So
yeah, governments hate Bitcoin. Governments hate it because there's only so much of it. Just like governments hate gold as a bad currency, because it does not allow them to do the malfeasance that they do by overprinting money. It does that. Mm-hmm. So they don't want to lose that.
Hold on.
That control that they have.
Don't you think it would keep them more honest if there's competition?
Yeah, but they're the government. They don't need to be honest.
That's right.
Remember, Mike, they own you. They own you, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's throw this out there. your great leader, Josue Bidon. People were asking him a simple question that was, I think it was on, yeah, it was actually today. They were asking him about a simple Afghan pullout questions, and he was shouting at reporters saying, "I want to talk happy things." So what is going on with your great leader?
He said, "I want to talk happy things."
Mm-hmm. That's in quotations here.
Come on, man.
Sí, estoy
Man,
hablando
I don't care.
cierto.
The thing is, I obviously you can tell that I know nothing about this because I don't watch that stuff.
So what comes to mind? The first thing comes to mind when you hear a leader of the biggest militarized country in the world. I want to talk happy things.
Listen, man, the thing is that no president is the real leader. There's no president who's the real leader. It's the people behind him that are pulling the strings. So if he wants to talk happy things, it's maybe because he does not have the ability to talk about those things that are important, right? Mm-hmm. Even our prior administration. Look, I'm not a left or a right. I'm not. But even our prior administration, do you really think that Donald Trump was in control? He wasn't in control.
He said things and he had to backpedal some things because he was talking from the heart on some things, and some things he had to kind of back out.
But Mike, look, this is what's happened in my short life. This is what I've noticed in politics when it comes to presidents. They put a president out there that's terrible. That's terrible, right? And then they put one out there that's like, oh yeah, this guy's good. Yeah, this guy's great. You know, this guy's going to be great. And then after that, they put another one that's terrible. But this is what I'll ask you. You've obviously studied U.S. history, so I know you'll know the answer. Because there's a very simple question. Since 1971, right? Since 1971, since the year I was born, there has been Republican presidents and there has been Democratic presidents. Right? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What has gotten any better?
Well, before 1971 was the year they removed the United States of America off the gold standard. That was Richard Milhouse Nixon.
15. Yeah, but my question is this. It's a simple question. What has gotten any better? Except a smartphone.
Smartphone. I was going to say cell phones. Highways have gotten the infrastructure's gotten a bit better. Like if they built bridges in areas they didn't have bridges before.
The United States, the infrastructure's gotten better.
No. I'm saying from 1972 to let's say 86, they've built more highways.
No, to today. I'm talking about till today. I'm talking about if you take into consideration that since 1971, and I'm talking about the things that matter. What has gotten better in the things that matter from 1971 to today, with us having Democratic and Republican presidents back and forth? Nothing has gotten any better.
Nada.
It's just gotten incrementally worse. We're in more debt. We're the biggest debtor nation in the entire world in the history of mankind. In 1964, I believe, they started the war on poverty.
That's right.
Now there's more than twice as many people that are poor than were back then. Mm-hmm. They started the war on drugs in 1974, I think. It was Nixon that did that. Mm-hmm. Now we are the most medicated country in the United States. What has gotten any better?
Well, Big Pharma's gotten bigger. Big Pharma's gotten bigger. The bigs have gotten bigger. The big boxes have taken over. The big box stores have taken over. They made it impossible for the little guy to ship stuff out of his house to start his own little home business because shipping is crazy. But the big conglomerates have cheap shipping.
Well, that's my point, Mike, that nothing has gotten any better no matter what president's been in office. Nothing has. We've been at war since 1971. One war or another. We've been invading one country or another since 1971. Yeah. Nothing's gotten any better. It doesn't matter who is in the office. It doesn't matter. That's why I say that, like the Tiller cycle or the fourth turning, if you've read that book, that's why I say that. This cycle is inevitable. It will manifest itself. This cycle will turn into an oppressive cycle, and then one in which we have to actually build up the courage to fight and then regain our liberties.
Right.
Because nothing has gotten any better in my 50 years. What makes you think that it's going to get any better in the next 50 years if it continues to go the way it's going?
Yeah, it's in free falling mode right now, and nobody knows. Hey, okay, so I got this one here. Propane prices soar ahead of 4th of July grill fest. So did the price of propane go up before the long weekend so people pay more? And it's just a quick cash grab, or is the price of propane getting more expensive because of logistical reasons?
I think that the price of propane is getting more expensive because of the price of oil. Mm-hmm. Propane is a derivative of oil.
Right.
I believe it's a derivative of oil. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's petrol. Yeah, so the price of oil is going to continue to go up. It's been going up steadily here. So I think that's why propane is going up. Not because of a holiday weekend. Maybe that has the effect on it to go up for a little bit, but not, go up a little bit, but I don't think a lot. I mean, but then again, I'm not really a trained economist when it comes to those things. I don't even know what the price of propane is here. I got to fill up my tanks too. I don't even know what the price is. But yeah. I mean, what people concentrate on the small picture. Like people look at the price of gas.
Right.
Look at the price of propane.
Right.
Look at the price of a steak. Don't look at that. Look at everything. Look at how much everything is going up. I think this administration put out a tweet a few days ago.
14 cents on cheese?
A congressional tweet saying that this year's 4th of July dinner is going to cost 16 cents less.
Oh, I thought it was 14
than
cents.
Last year's.
I thought it was 14
16.
cents.
So people, a lot of people will read that and be like, "Oh, that's good," but they don't say anything about the price of gasoline going up $1.50 in the last 6 months. They don't say anything about the price of a home going up 50% in the last 12 months.
I've been calling.
They don't say about the car going up.
Mira, I've been calling out Amerifornia before all this BS started happening in the real estate. I've been calling out Amerifornia. Where America's going to turn out to be America will turn out like California. High real estate, expensive taxes, homelessness up, opioid crisis across America. And I've been calling out Amerifornia. And when everybody was on their YouTube channels, the housing people were talking about, we're going to see a massive crash, COVID's here, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. I was the exact opposite, and I said housing is going to go up 40% to 100% in parts of America. Watch. And I had so many people email me telling me that I'm a dummy. I don't know politics. Not politics. Sorry, I don't know housing in America. I don't know. No. Amerifornia is coming, and Americans are going to wake up to what's really going to happen, because it's been happening in Canada since 2010. It's been happening in Australia since 2012. It's been happening in the UK.
Yes. Yeah. It's already happening now. I mean, most of the I think it's 30 to 34s or something like that year olds. They're all priced out of the housing markets, and it's going to continue to be like that. I mean, we have large corporations that are buying. They're literally outbidding private buyers. Mm-hmm. They're outbidding people that actually want to buy the home so they can live in it with their family. We have these large corporations like BlackRock and Blackstone who are just going out and buying whole neighborhoods, and instead of and what they're doing with them is renting them. So yeah, people are being priced out of the housing market because we have these. Now check this out, Mike. We have these large corporations like Blackstone that get money from the Federal Reserve at 0.5% interest. Mm-hmm. Then they use that money to go buy whole city blocks of single family houses, mm-hmm. outbidding people that really want to buy the house so they can live in it, so that they can rent them to them. Mm-hmm. What do you think? It's 0.5% interest.
Well, you know who's been doing this to us since 2010?
China.
Exactly. China has been outbidding all of us and big corporations. Now, you know who's been hitting up Seattle since 2017? Huge Chinese corporations have bought out major parts of downtown Seattle. And they keep blaming the tech workers. And I speak to tech workers in Seattle, and there's 6 of them living in a 1-bedroom just to get by.
Well, it's like I think that our country's been given away to China, man.
Well, Canada,
I mean,
Canada
our
is China.
politicians.
Canada is an autonomous region of China. Your blue states, okay, like California, Oregon, Washington, Massachusetts, New York, and Pennsylvania. They've allowed money laundering through all these big banks have allowed money laundering. They've had hundreds of millions of infractions of money laundering, and guess what? Now it's going to be spilling into the little red states, and it's going to be basically impoverishing Americans from coast to coast. Disgusting. We had it here already. Now, let me tell you, Mano, you know a house like built after World War I in Vancouver, a detached home with a little piece of land, is going for $9.8 million, dude. The house was assessed at $17,000.
Holy smokes.
I brought it up on Mike in the Night, the post from realestate.com, from the real estate site. Okay? And it's not a meme. It's for real. It's $9.8 million. Take it or leave it. And that house is the biggest piece of crap in the world. You're not buying Magic Johnson's house. You're not buying Van Damme's house. You're buying some piece of crap house that hasn't been lived in for 20 years or 30 years, has massive leaks, and it needs a new foundation. So you're going to spend $700,000. This is Canada. You need $700,000 to build a house in Canada.
Yep.
So, anyways.
Calm down, Mike. You're gonna have a heart attack, man.
Oh, I usually get I get very excited. Okay, Miami Beach condo. Another Miami Beach condo is being evacuated after structure deemed unsafe. So we're not talking about the Surfside one. We're talking about another one that was evacuated 2 hours ago. What is happening? Like, I mean, are these guys like? Can I fill you in on a little Australia story? There's the Opal Tower. Opal Tower was built in the Olympic Village in Sydney, Australia. The Opal Tower I guess people started moving in September, and then by Christmas of that year, on the 24th of December, everyone had to move out because the building tilted. And this is people that move. And listen, bro, this is not like buying a one-bedroom a condo in Miami for like $70,000. These are like $700,000, $800,000 one bedrooms. Now, people, they can't flip the mortgages. They can't sell the property. They were evacuated from that condo. How much of this are we going to start seeing in America, or how much of it's going to start creeping up?
Actually, in Seattle, there's a building just like that's tilting and sinking. And those are like $1 million apartments too. So yeah, man. Hey, listen, man, you know, that's the thing. I try not to concern myself with all of those things that are going on, because these crazy people are going to continue to do the same thing that they've always done. I mean, you know what? I just read something somewhere that I think that like 75% of our Congress and Senate are over 60 years old. Now, who are they really representing? You know, 60-year-olds and older in the United States make up about 15% of the population.
Yes.
So we are all out of whack, man. It's just we're going to have a hard reset. And unfortunately, it's going to hurt a lot of people. Because they just refuse to look at the tea leaves and understand what's going on. And I can't say that I can blame a lot of them, because a lot of people that don't understand what's going on and are preparing for what's coming, they just don't have a choice. They work 2 jobs. They try to put food on the table. And the last thing that they're going to do when they come home to sleep 4 or 5 hours before they go to their next job is to do research and see what's going on. Mm-hmm. You know, they're just on a squirrel cage. They're just going around in circles, and they don't have too much of a choice, because, you know, they're in that first rung of the ladder is what I like to call. The first rung of the ladder is where you're just making enough to take care of your biological needs.
I got a question here from Sergey from St. Petersburg, Russia. He's asking: why are police targeting Americans for the ideological beliefs and behaviors? They don't do this in Russia.
Tell them to stop listening to the news too much. I think that in the United States of America, that 99% of police officers, although they should read the Constitution of the United States, all right? Although they should read the Constitution before they become a police officer, I think that 99% are good people who want to do good things. And what the media likes to do is when they're pushing an agenda, what they like to do is they shout about the same thing a million times, so that it sounds like and it looks like it's a bigger problem than what it really is.
Right.
There's not cops here in the United States of America hunting people down.
Right.
It's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so but if a person gets shot and the media wants to make a big deal about it, they'll keep that news on the news cycle for 3 or 4 or 5 days.
Right.
But if the wrong person gets shot, right? If the wrong person gets shot, you never hear about it.
No.
Because they don't want you to know about it. So they can give the guys, to anyone looking in from outside, they can make it look to them like we have a really big problem with police. I haven't run into a police officer in my entire life that treated me with disrespect, or that treated me in a way that I didn't deserve to be treated in that situation. If I deserved to get the ticket, I got the ticket. I was speeding. If I deserved to get the ticket for failure to yield and going through a stop sign, I got the ticket. I did it. It was my fault. I've never run into a police officer that's been bad. Am I saying there's not bad police officers? There's bad people of every kind in every kind of job there is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It doesn't mean that everyone is bad.
Yeah.
You know,
no, I totally understand. I've had some pretty bad encounters with police in my lifetime for no reason.
I must be lucky then, because to tell you the truth, I've had some bad encounters where I had to pay a lot of money for a ticket. But like I said, I did it. You know, and I don't think that they were picking on me. I did what they said I did, and I paid the ticket. Mm-hmm. You know, but I've also had good encounters where, like, here we were at a restaurant here, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, and there was a state trooper sitting there eating. And after we got done eating, I went over to him and I started talking to him. We talked for like half an hour. Mm-hmm. Really nice guy. Mm-hmm. Really nice guy, believes in the Second Amendment. He said that him and his buddies would never, ever do something that's unconstitutional, you know, towards the American people. And but anyways, we talked for like half an hour. Great person. So like I said, I must be lucky because I've never really run into a terrible cop. Now, do I disagree with police officers, let me say, enforcing the law? I do with some of them, absolutely. And that's where I say they should read the Constitution.
Right. And the Bill of Rights.
Like, they have that forfeiture thing here. Or if they catch you with a lot of money, they can say, well, this money is suspected to be involved in drugs. So they take it away from you, and then you have to go fight for it. You were never guilty of anything.
Can I get mad for a second?
Simple asset forfeiture.
Okay, guy. Okay, Alaska Prepper, this is the time of the show where we see Mike Enojado, okay? It's called Mike Enojado.
Listen, brother, I got to go.
You got to go?
Oh, wait a minute, Mike Enojado? Okay, after I see you, I'll go. I'm starting to lose my voice. After about an hour and a half, my voice starts to go.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead, man. Do your rant. Do your rant.
I'm going to give you a rant. Now, they stop common Americans and seize their money and take it. But why aren't they stopping the real drug dealers? Now, a lot of people don't know this in the United States, but we've been following this in Canada through our mainstream media, that some of the biggest opioid, fentanyl, and synthetic marijuana producers are out of China, factories owned by the Chinese Communist Party. And they're bringing the drugs on our shores through Washington State, Oregon, California, and Vancouver, Canada, where the coast where I live here. And they've been basically wiping out the youth. It's been... They've been recycling that laundered money back into housing and bringing property prices up. Why aren't they stopping those money launderers and all that money that keeps getting recycled through the illegal fentanyl sales coming in? Because I already, there's an article out right now. Fentanyl seizures at southern U.S. borders spike 4,000%, and a lot of the chemicals are come from China to make these, and they're fabricated now in Mexico. Yeah. And why aren't they stopping these people that are laundering the money and devaluing the Americans by outbidding them on their homes? Because our housing crisis in Canada is actually tied to fentanyl sales that are produced and brought in from China. But none of these money launderers are being stopped. Listen to this, and you're not going to believe this when I tell you this. We had a money laundering a team in Canada that was put together, a task force that was put together to stop and find out who the money laundering was. Do you know our Liberal government shut that down 9 months ago because it was gonna arrest so many families and so many people that they had to shut that down? And it wasn't because it was Canadians that was doing it. It was all foreign investors that were bringing in money illegally, and they shut down the money laundering scam. And then you have Westpac in Australia. Listen to this. You're not going to believe this. They put a money laundering law 15 months ago in Australia, money laundering law 15 months ago. And one of the second biggest banks in Australia was caught with 26 million money laundering infractions in 15 months. 26 million, that's 3 per hour or 3 per minute or something. It's crazy, mano. It's crazy. Can you believe that? Hi, you broke the law 26 million times laundering money. We're going to, and they're being fined 1 point something billion dollars. Look, Rudy, if you laundered money 26 times, dude, they'll put you away forever.
Heck, if you launder money once, they'll put you away.
Right. I'm just kind of bringing it down, scaling it back from 26 million in 15 months to 26. If you did it, But dude, they're going after the wrong people, and the people that we pay to protect us are not going after the people that are actually damaging the fabric of these countries. Period.
Mike, it comes down to one thing. I know you know who George Carlin is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's George Carlin's great saying? What's one of his great quotes? You're not in the club, buddy.
Yeah.
You're not in the club.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, God rest his soul, eh?
Yeah, I love George Carlin.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy.
Yep.
Well, listen, my brother, I'm going to go ahead and take off now, man.
Go.
If that's all right.
I'll take in a few callers now. You go, descansarte, estás un poco cansado, estás perdiendo su voz.
Hey, thank you very much for having me, man. I had a blast. Had a great time. I love having these chats. I love it.
God bless you, and we'll see you on the other side, okay, brother?
All right, man. Same to you, man. Take care of yourself. God bless.
Bye. All right, folks, that is the Alaska Prepper on Mike in the Night to make a difference, to help, get some discussion out there, just straight up discussion. And wow, I'm tired. It's hot, though. It's like 100 degrees, man. It's like 120 Fahrenheit. Okay, so we got... they're going after the wrong people, and then until the governments that we pay or that we fund, they need to go after the people that are actually causing these problems and not going after the simpleton. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, who's in the comments here? We got King Cash YouTube, guys. Don't forget to check out his channel. Mitch Madden, Baron Von Biscuits. We got Mike Banks. We got Shafi D in the house. We got M in the house. Linny Poo in the house. Wall Street Stackers in the house. Yeah, this is I think this is the third time Alaska Prepper's been on the show. On Mike in the Night. Yeah. Oh, yeah. John Ming is saying, damn you, global warming. No. John, it's climate crisis now. In 1871, it was methanol control act for cows to protect from the methane from the cow poop. In the 1870s, they tried to pass a bill on that. And then I remember in the early 1980s, like 81, 82, it was the Ozone Layer Protection Act. I don't know if who was around in the 80s that it's in the comments that remembers the Ozone Layer Protection Act in the early 80s, where the ozone layer has holes all over it and we're burning through and we're not going to have a world by 1990. Okay. And then from 1980s, Ozone Protection Act, then it became global warming in 2001, because by 2007, Al Loser Gore said that Florida would be underwater by 2007, and then that didn't work out. So you got bat there. And then from 2007, Florida wasn't underwater. And then 2010, it became climate change. And then from climate change, now it's climate crisis. So they got to call it something so they keep it fresh. You know what I'm saying? They keep it fresh. So, Mitch, so we got Lord Humongous in the house, Wall Street Stackers in the house, laughing. Yeah, and that's how it works. We need M to call into the show. The poles shift every couple of thousand years. Yeah. You know, why don't they want no one in the Arctic or in the North Pole? Well, because at one point there's vegetation there. There's something there. Yeah. But God forbid anyone goes there. Yeah. Muzzle is saying, yes, spray cans had to change an ingredient. Yeah, climate lockdowns are coming right now. Climate lockdowns. Mike's in the heat dome. Yeah, I'm almost done. I got 50 odd minutes here. We got another hour left. We'll see if we get another caller on the show. Let's do a quick channel plug. If you guys don't mind. Guys, don't forget to join our Discord. Could somebody please throw our Discord, if you don't mind, somebody throw our Discord in the chat there. All Wall Street Stackers on Mike of the Night, all live streams. Okay, we got Fringe Files calling. Hey, what's up?
Hey, should I have called you or should I have waited on you to call me?
Oh, it doesn't matter. You could call anytime. It doesn't... This show is kind of like a free-for-all type of thing.
Okay, I was waiting patiently, but then everybody in the chat here is yelling at me to call in, and I don't know what to do. Y'all got my anxiety up, man.
No, don't worry. Could we see you, or are you hiding tonight?
No, I'm hiding.
Okay.
It's hot. Well, you're hot too. I get that, but
yeah,
I'm not in a position to be on camera.
That's okay. That's all right. All right. So tell us what's on your mind. Tell us. Go ahead.
Did you see that link I sent you? Maybe you had already talked about this, but you guys know I hadn't had internet for a little bit, so I could have missed if you had talked about it. But about Blackstone buying up,
Yes.
most people know them as NGC, but I think that the big group is CCG. I think
Right.
that's the larger group, the parent company. What the hell is going on there?
Well, I found out. I actually did some digging, and I called somebody down in Pittsburgh, and one guy that worked for them. I think before it was a different company name, before it got changed or some crap like that. And he told me that they've been doing this since the early '90s, and they're making a big deal of it now. And apparently Blackstone isn't outbidding anybody. They're not actually going against the common American. They're just buying up properties that are for sale, but they don't bid on them. This is what he told me. He's like, I'm not trying to protect
they've
these
been
people.
doing that for a little while.
Yeah, since the 90s. But he's saying that this is something that's been happening for a long time.
But with these coins, that's weird to get into grading coins and want to have ownership on that side of things, because it might get so small, it's so niche, and we talk about let me tell you the first thing that came to mind, because you talk about it all the time. If there is an instance where other assets severely depreciate, how do we continue to launder money in that scenario? You don't. But what does tend to still do okay, even through depressions, recessions, and hard times, is collectibles, which have been on fire. And all collectibles, guys, cards, art, anything. And that's already used today for money laundering all the time. But such a big company getting involved with grading coins is just weird. That's weird to me.
Well, there's a lot of money in grading, and they're seeing that there's a lot of there's a baseball card guys. Well, there's a Beckett. I can't remember who it was, but there's a company that if you want to get something graded, you're gonna have to wait at least like 2 years now.
Oh no, yeah, that's for all of them right now. And actually, well, I don't know if I should talk about that, but all of them are having that issue right now because the card market is just so hot. And we're talking about anything, guys. It's not just your old Michael Jordan cards. I mean, we're talking about new cards, rookie cards selling for crazy dollars. I mean, you've got NASCAR cards going for insane money right now. If y'all
know.
got a box of cards, put them on eBay now, one by one.
You know, can I tell you a sad story?
Go ahead.
I've been selling hockey cards in my store and Pokemon cards for years, for like almost 20 years now. Did you know that the distributors cut me off of Pokemon because it got popular?
Really?
Yeah. You know that the hockey distributors, Upper Deck, they actually cut me off because hockey became popular and they just didn't want me to get it?
Are you serious?
I'm not making this up. I wish I was making this up. So a lot of
Why
people are
is
saying,
it
wow,
getting
Mike.
so
Mhm.
hard? And Mike, if you were selling that kind of stuff, I can talk a little bit on this kind of stuff. If you were doing that, because we've noticed the same thing over here,
Mhm.
it is getting harder and harder for people like you, me, and anybody in this chat to get into something niche like that, which is so weird, right? Because it's so niche. There's not a huge portion of the population that wakes up in the morning and they think, you know what? I'm going to go buy a box of cards today, or I'm going to go get some cards for wholesale.
Mhm.
You know, I know there's going to be some good rookies in there, and hope and pray that I get one. I love breaking boxes down, to be honest.
Mhm.
A couple times a year, we'll get some boxes and we'll break them down in the house and just kind of see what's in there, right?
Mhm.
And we've noticed the same thing. Immediately, cards are sold out. You know, the only place to go and get one is a box is on eBay somewhere, but you don't want to do that as a trying to be a bit more financially savvy.
Right.
You know, you would rather get those cards wholesale or buy as many as you can for a nice deal, and hopefully you get something good enough in there to pay it back. You know, and if not, then okay, you sell each card for $2 each and just be on your way, or save them for a rainy day.
Right.
No, it's not like that anymore. And I'm starting to notice that in all kinds of small, niche business areas. And it's not just about buying it either, it's where we're allowed to sell it.
Mhm.
That's getting hard. And some of y'all probably haven't noticed that yet. It's very easy on eBay still. So that's still the best place to go. If you've got if you want to build up your eBay, I would say that right now is probably a really good time just because they've kind of repriced some things. And if you plan on being a big seller, you're going to get a better deal there. So it's just, you know, consistently listing products every day. It's such a freaking hassle, but it can be worth it.
I've routined it into my daily routine. I even
Yeah.
hired somebody part-time and sometimes a full-time that comes in and he fights fires, and then when he's not fighting fires, when he's off 10 days and he's on 20, he would come and he would list for me. He'd come to my house in my office. He would list stuff for me, and I think I just surpassed 4,000 sales on eBay in 2 years.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so that's really the place to go in. Anything niche at all that you guys are trying to get into. You know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have said immediately, do your best to get on Amazon. Do your best. There's not a real person over there that you can talk to anymore.
Mhm.
It's very difficult. As far as who they're allowing to sell what, getting tighter and tighter. Mike, we're talking about people that have been selling since day one on Amazon are not allowed to sell in certain categories anymore.
Yes.
It's getting tighter and tighter and
Well,
tighter.
the bigs need to get bigger, right?
Oh, yeah. I can't even say what bigs are out there right now as far as some niche categories that are out there, but it's tough for people that I know. It's getting a lot tougher. You've got people that have been selling on Amazon for 8 to 10 years. They're done.
Mhm.
They're done. And you know, the really sad thing here is a lot of us were taught if you were the independent kind of mindset person or the hustler, the go-getter, you were taught that, you know what? Screw eBay, screw building up your website, screw everything. Get on Amazon, have everything there. And that's what people did, right? That's what they did. They stopped paying for their website. They slowed down or stopped completely with eBay. And now you're stuck in this weird spot where you've got to restart all over again because any day Amazon's going to yank the rug out from under you.
Mm-hmm.
And people have put all of their eggs in that basket. So I'm not going to say that you guys, if you decided to sell over there, you're going to do bad. That's not what I'm saying. It can be a great place to be, but you know, it's also not the best place to be. And eBay will probably end up making a comeback, a huge comeback.
No,
I
eBay will
mean,
be making a comeback. You're going to see a
oh
lot of
yeah.
Americans are going to hit some pretty hard times, and they're going to start selling stuff on eBay because it's going to be the only avenue. So, guys, here is my. I'm going to show you guys my eBay store here, and I'll show you guys what I sell. This is what I got going on here. So there it is, right there. So it's the Merit Toys and Games, and there's my Magic cards. I've been selling Magic cards. So I got some wrestling cards and other stuff there, and been selling my stuff and for what 2 years and change now, almost 3 years I think I'm on. I don't know, but it's been a while now, and yeah, I got a good following on here, 109 followers, and I think that's good. I mean, I don't know.
No, that is good.
I really don't compete. I don't know what other people do. I just kind of do my own thing, right?
Well,
So-
that's the number one thing I think we have to think about when you get into that. You see all these people that could be your competition, but don't worry about them, because whenever you look at things that way, you're at a race to the bottom,
Yeah.
and that's not where you want to be, right? You want to be the person that can get an extra 2, 3, 4, $10 out of a product, hopefully even more, depending on what you're selling there. And honestly, for some reason, people like that. Put better pictures up, do better detailed listings, and you're already doing better than, half of the people that are on there. So differentiate yourself, don't be exactly like your competition to begin with. That's not exactly why I came on here, but I don't know. I've had a hell of a 2 weeks, and stuff is just getting so crazy. It's tough. It's tough. I know what people are going through. Especially, if you're trying to become your own business person, or, just start something new. It's a tough time to do it, but I don't think it's a bad time to do it. A lot of us do have a little bit of extra time on our hands, or if you don't, like you said, just make something part of your routine, and a part-time hustle could become the full-time thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Sometimes, I mean, there's some. I'm not here to brag, but I do work. It's there's some months I could gross like $5,000-$7,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then I have my store, which I'm at all day, my game store, where I could be. Sometimes I list there, and then sometimes and the game store does decently because people outside of town are finding me and coming to see me. Right.
Yeah, well, you've got a specialty shop. You have to. It's different, right? Because you're carrying things that my Walmart or my Dollar General doesn't have.
Nobody has that stuff.
We've all got tic-tac-toe, right? Like, that's no problem. We've all got Jenga, but I've went and looked through the online store, and you've got some specialty stuff in there that I would have never even thought of, but I'm thinking, man, I want to play this. Like,
well, I'm going to give everyone the link. Since we're on topic here, let me show you guys my online store. I haven't made I just launched it 2 weeks ago. I still haven't made a sale. I don't know if I made a mistake. I don't know what I did wrong. There's something wrong with this store. And if somebody wants to buy something from me, go ahead and check it out. I ship all over North America. So if you want to buy something, there's the link right there. The reason why I'm putting this out there, if you could email me feedback and let me know, Mike, I can't check out with the cart because it's telling me this, then I could find out what's wrong with it. And I'm cheaper than Amazon. Like my stuff is like $20-$30 cheaper than Amazon right across the board.
oh, I bet people think that they're saving on Amazon. You need to go check like 10 other sources. You're not saving any money by shopping there.
Yeah,
Ever.
Lords of Waterdeep,
Ever.
like a game, like if I was going to Fringe, if I was going to like recommend a game for you, I would recommend this game. Lords of Waterdeep is the best work management game in existence. It's work management. And I know you like work management, moving workers around and collecting stuff and cashing in stuff for prizes, right? And this game is like that. It's a work management. That's $49.99 Canadian. That's like $32 American. You know how much money they sell this at your chapters or your book? That chapter sells Lords of Waterdeep there. In your country. You know how much that is in your country?
I have no idea.
$69.99 American.
Ha!
Yeah. And this is like 32 American here.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is why people need to look into smaller business. All right? A lot of times people think, oh, well, small business, I have to pay more. No, that's not always true, because the overhead cost isn't there.
Mm-hmm. I
I don't have 15 different employees that I have to pay. So, I don't have to gouge you on prices.
Yeah, it's just me, right? So it's my
Yeah.
me, my little overhead, and my rent's cheap, and yeah, if you guys ever want to hit me up, because I love selling board games, because you know how many families come back to me a month, 3 months, 6 months later and say, oh my God, the games you sold us, like we played the crap out of them. We need to try something else. Your recommendations were spot on, you know? I like that.
You know, that's fun. Well, and what we were thinking is we've actually got a whole lot of board games because let's say a shift happens,
Mhm.
right? Well, I'm off grid, so I guess I could keep watching DVDs or something. I got, full season of Home Improvement. We'll just keep doing that over and over again. Who knows? But, that kind of gets boring. So I want more games, like board games to play. Because, like I said, I'll get tired of, the Guess Who, the I don't know, Jenga, Scrabble. Well, nobody will play Scrabble with me, but you kind of get tired of those. So you need some more games to spice it up, and then just if you need family time with the kids, that's
We have
easy.
we have board game night every week here at my house with my kids.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Because you need to have that connection, right? So many families don't have that anymore. Everybody's on their tablet in their own corner of the house. And I don't have kids yet, but I think about this kind of stuff because I see it, and there's no real connection there. Isn't that so weird? I mean, you're already messed up enough as a child, probably if you were born in a hospital, because immediately you're taken away from your mother. They're wiping all this goop off of you that should stay there for a little longer.
Hmm.
They're gonna run all these tests on you, poke and prod you, and then maybe you get to go back to mom and sit with her for a little bit. And during all this COVID stuff,
I
that
love
was
Kobe.
probably near impossible for some families. So we're already like messed up from that, right?
Mhm.
And then to add on top of it, here's the 3-year-old toddler playing whatever BS game that they could find and download for the kid.
Mhm.
And like, where is the connection here? And people wonder, why is the violence skyrocketing? Why is this happening? Where's that? Well, family number one. 2, everything that's shown to you as a child is either violent or sexualized. And I'm not going to blame that completely, because if there was good parenting, kids can see that, recognize what it is, and they're not going to repeat those patterns if you haven't talked to them necessarily, right? And then throw on top, just there's no interaction. There's no. I'm not saying you got to go to church every Sunday, but there's no faith, there's no God, there's no nothing anymore. It's just a bunch of nothingness. It's sad. And people wonder, why are we falling apart? Well, there's your reasons.
Well, communication's being severed in the household, and
Mhm.
when communication falters right in the household, then that's when things start falling apart in in everyone's in everyone's lives.
Well, and
Do you-
think about that as no So let's stick to that. No communication in the household, almost whatsoever. When this kid has something important that they need to do, say it's in school and presenting something, and I know there's a lot of online school now, but in the real world, you're going to have to face people, right? You're going to need to look them in the eyes, shake their hand, talk to them, converse.
Mhm.
Half of my friends don't know how to do that.
Wow.
They're anxious in their own social settings within a group of their own friends, right? That's sad. There's nobody wants it, right? And maybe you don't have to have it. Maybe not. I can't tell you how many times as a teenager I walked in on site to, and this has been a bugging problem of mine for like a week now, so I'm going to spill it to you guys.
Mhm.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone into a store, a restaurant, a location, whatever it is, and there's a big plastered sign on the wall that says, we need help, we need workers, we're hiring, right? So you're thinking, okay, I'll do this crappy job. You're not going to say that while you're there, but you want a job, you want to make some extra money for the summer or whatever. So you're like, hey, can I speak to the manager? Okay, so you're speaking to the manager. There's this job available, and they tell you have to go apply online. They won't even take 2 minutes of your freaking time. Not even 2 minutes of your time. What is this piece of paper going to tell you? Right? Because you don't see the full picture of me. I get it. Some things look better on paper. But I mean, no, I just feel like if I ever owned a business where I needed to hire extra people, please come in, look me in the eye, shake my hand, let me talk to you for 30 minutes or an hour and just see who you are as a person.
Right.
If you don't have all of the experience that I'm looking for, can you learn it? Can you do that? You know, like everything's messed up. Everything's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy.
Scott Hareka is saying in the comments, the hospital around me was complaining the hospital was overloaded, but it's from the kids, all the kids having mental problems.
What?
Yeah, Scott Hareka, I think he's in Australia. I don't know if he's in Australia or if he's in New Zealand. I can't remember where he is. I think he's in the States somewhere. If he could comment where he's from. Yeah,
well, and let's go a little bit deeper on that. Do these kids really have mental problems, or does Big Pharma just want to tell you that they have mental problems and parents don't know how to parent anymore?
Yeah, exactly. That's what, yeah. Yeah. You're right. You see where we're going here with this, right? So it's more than, there's more than meets the eye, right? He's saying in the comments here, the child abuse that is going on is outrageous.
Mm-hmm. It is. Well, what we see, it is abusive. It is abusive. That kid will never actually know you for you. I mean, it's sad. Even as a teenager, Mike, I had to eat dinner with my family every night. And did I look at it as, oh, I got to go eat with my lame parents again and my little brothers? No, I was happy to go and see how everything was doing. You know, we had nice chats. I was actually able to be close to my stepmom and my dad, you know? And I think that really set me up to be a better person. And my mom was extremely hard on me, really, really hard. Maybe that messed me up a little bit, but I didn't turn out to be a bad person.
Well, no,
right?
Of course. Well, no. I don't think no one is born at birth, already to be planned out to be bad. No one's born to be bad, right? It's just something that happens or, through life, through changes, challenges. For me, it was a little bit different. I grew up in this bizarro oppression of Canada, like a really weird, like back in the early 90s, they were really picking on, see, I'm Portuguese, so they kept picking on the Portuguese in the province of Ontario, like really badly. And then when I started high school, it got really bad. Like the teachers, I'm not talking about the students. And I like Family Guy because Family Guy is the best. Because Family Guy picks up on it and says, Stewie would say in the episode, we couldn't run an ad that said no Portuguese, but no Portuguese. And when I would go to a job interview in Toronto, they would go, they would say exactly that. We couldn't run an ad that said no Portuguese, but no Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was very common when I went to a job interview.
You know what was so weird, and people are probably going to, say, no way, that's impossible. As a teenager, I was just telling you about looking for jobs as a teenager. Anybody that I would go and talk to during that time, I actually lived in a pretty big, I lived just outside of Atlanta. Okay, so it's super diverse.
Were you
right?
south
you
of
would
Atlanta,
think
like Macon, or like where?
I lived around Gwinnett, so really kind of diverse area.
Okay.
All kinds of people live there, right? All kinds of people. And you know what I found out very quickly is the number one reason I couldn't get a job, I do believe, is because I was white. I would go into the Dairy Queen, and the only people that worked at the Dairy Queen were Indian families. I would go into a Burger King, but the only people that worked at this Burger King were a bunch of Hispanic people and their families. Or I would go somewhere else and it's only Asian families. And like, I just could not get a job, but I recognized very quickly, I'm like, wait, all of these people that work here live under the same households or their family and friends. And I was like, okay, this makes sense now. So I just, and that's the biggest reason I probably gave up on being a part of this normal world. Just kind of I was like, okay, maybe I'm just not cut out for any of this. Maybe I'm too weird for anybody to, I don't know.
I don't think you're weird. I just think you're very well-spoken. You're strong. And you basically, you have a head on your shoulders. And sometimes, okay, I can tell you a little secret. I made a video about this like 3 years ago. I was speaking to a regional manager, not a district, but a regional manager for one of these big fast food places. And he told me that whenever you get somebody that's Caucasian, just throw it in the garbage. Don't even call them, because it's easier for us to get people to come in and from another country, from like Pakistan or wherever, and then they come in, but we could boss them around at work and threaten them to send them back home if they misbehave. Where if you had a Canadian in there, they start forming unions, they start organizing, and that's why, like, they keep saying, oh, Canadians don't want to work these jobs, or America. For me, I don't know about America, but in Canada, no way, Jose. Canadians do want to work a lot of these jobs. Like, if you go into some government section, like a government facility, to get some paperwork done, 90% of the people there aren't Canadian working there. So, yeah. Like, when I come home, I was coming home. Where was I coming home from? Taiwan. I was coming home from Taiwan. I had some lady with a very heavy accent. She wasn't Canadian, and she basically told me I was hiding something that I had to go through a check. And she put me in a room, and I sat there for 7 hours, and they found nothing on me. And I could have told them they were going to find nothing, because if some lady who's not Canadian is telling me to go through, it's like, wow, and that really pisses me off. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel that, because every time I've ever been to the airport, since I was 12 years old until probably today, which I haven't been on a plane in forever, but I always get pulled out of line before you even get to the spot where they check you and pat you down and make you go through the X-ray machine that'll give me cancer. Before I ever even get there, I'm always pulled out of line, and I'm thinking, what is wrong with me? And this has happened multiple times every time I go, and I'm thinking, what the hell is wrong with me? And this is as like a child. I'm a child. I'm like 14 years old. What the hell do you think I'm gonna do? Like, it makes no sense. I don't know. I guess that's how you get through life, is just understand that none of it makes any sense.
Yeah, that's you're bang on right there. You're 1 trillion% bang on. So okay, what's going on with your channel right now?
Right at this very moment, I need to get to work like ASAP, and I know that I do. This week I can't do it necessarily this weekend. I actually have to build a legitimate resume, which I've never done in my life, for a job that's 50-50 on if I could even get it or not. I'm like shooting darts in the dark here right now. So it'll probably be Tuesday or Wednesday before I'm able to get some more content out. And on the Fringe channel, I'm just always being careful over there. Every time I get on there, even the last thing that I did, which was just me talking to people. I didn't even have a great stream put together. I ended up getting some kind of, I got a warning, which was weird, but some kind of community guidelines warning. I did something new. Me too, I got it too. So I don't know what's going on over there. Like, I do hope to keep my Fringe channel. I want everybody to know that I still love all that stuff, and I love the people over there. It's just YouTube's kind of giving us a hard time. But I do have Wall Street Stackers, and as long as I can keep internet, I'll try to keep getting stuff on over there as routinely as possible.
Do you remember what I was telling Alaska Prepper?
Mm-hmm.
We are messengers. We are messengers. We have messages. We are, like, back in the day, if we were in the Roman times, let's say we were in the Roman times, we would actually be known as messenger. We would be the guy standing on the milk crate on the corner somewhere in downtown Rome back in the day, where the ships dock, telling people messages, telling people and screaming at the top of, not screaming, but preaching, but not preaching gospel, but telling people what to expect, what to look for, and stuff. That's what we would be doing 1,000 years ago. But now we got the technology of the internet. Okay, guys, here's the website right here. There's 648 subscribers. We could easily get her to 1,000 right now. So I'm going to put a link here in the live chat. This is Wall Street Stackers on her channel here. This is the one this one has no strikes, right?
No strike. No, I might get a little bit off track over there sometimes, but it's never enough for YouTube to really catch it. And if it ever is, if I'm not being caught yet, it's because the channel's just still probably just small enough. But I don't know if I believe in that anymore, Mike, because I know some people that are trying to, we see the folks that are trying to start up their channels, and they get hit, even if they only have 10 subscribers now. These algorithms are getting great, like really good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah,
It's just getting crazy.
I think they feel sorry for me because I have like 4,300 videos, and I think they just feel sorry for me, and they're like, ah, we got this guy on this farm. I don't know if you know this, but they have a farming technique for YouTube through the algorithm where the reason why I'm on YouTube and the reason why I have monetization on my channel is because they have this thing that a former employee told me where they farm my channel to a level 4. So basically, no one knows I exist unless somebody tells somebody and they find me.
Yeah.
No one knows I exist. And then what happens when you're a level 4? There's rumors that every 25 views you get one for yourself. So you get paid for that one view, and the 24 get paid to the algorithm, to YouTube. That's what I heard. So
I don't know how it works exactly, but I know that whatever they're doing over there is getting so good and so bad that even extremely popular YouTubers, where YouTube would want to keep them on YouTube, they're getting hit. Yeah.
That's weird.
Like, I don't know if the Graham Stephan thing was all a big show or not, but obviously, like YouTube, if your algorithm is so strict, I was going to say another word. If your algorithm is so strict that it's hitting a channel like Graham Stephan's, you've got a problem because you're about to shoot yourself in the foot there.
Guys, we got another YouTube celebrity in the house. Heiza says. Let's take a look. We're going to try and get him back on mic in the night when he gets some time. And he's commenting, another person getting strikes. And Heiza says he's got a really good channel. He broadcasts out of Australia, and he's basically giving us a good boots on the ground perspective. Heiza says, let me open him here on my back.
Well, I'll need to sub over there. I watch a lot on Instagram is how I get a lot of the news as to what's going on in Australia and other places.
I've been bringing up Australia for the last 10 years, but more on housing and affordability issues.
I just like watching the videos of what's happening now, of people getting mad, how crazy the police get, the COVID lockdowns going on. It's just crazy. I know I keep saying that, but we're really in weird times. Like, I don't know what else to say except for it's crazy.
I just want to say, Anthony Ruvalakaba, you did not lose your wrench. This is the backup channel, buddy, so I haven't assigned anybody. Nobody's been assigned moderators on the backup channel. So nobody freak out, please. I just put Heiza Says back as a moderator, too. He was a moderator on the channel. And I just put him back, too. This is just my backup streaming channel. So if somebody goes off the rails here, I don't get my butt kicked. So this is Heiza Says. I'm going to put the link in the comments. We need everybody to go over there and subscribe, too. He's one of us, too. So there he is right there. Heiza Says. He's a family guy, that's for sure. I could tell you that. He's a family guy. And it's good. He takes care of his family, and he's a good guy. He's got a lot of information that he's sharing here with us on this channel. On his channel, sorry. So, Heiza Says. Yeah, so people are realizing that they're on another channel here. They're like, wait a minute. I didn't lose my wrench. I'm on a completely different channel.
Oh, yeah. Luckily, though, and I noticed this when I was on my phone, my Wall Street Stackers account was not subscribed to this channel, but luckily it came up in what is it, like the homepage of your YouTube? Mm-hmm. It came up in that feed. So luckily I was able to see it and find it, and I'm like, okay, good. This is good. Obviously, whatever's going on without that algorithm, it knows that I want to watch this channel. So there you go.
Well, it's Mike in the Night, right?
Mm-hmm.
I try to go a bit off the rails with Alaska Prepper, about organ harvesting and all this BS that's happening.
Oh, y'all got into some good stuff, though.
I kind of wanted him to talk about stuff he would normally wouldn't on his channel. So, so that he wouldn't, you know what I mean? So, like, he doesn't get penalized on his type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. So, can you comment? I know you're in the in the middle of, like, kind of almost in the middle of the United States there. Have you been seeing a soaring, like, I mean, you pick up a little bit of Chicago news, a little bit of Miami news where you are, just a little bit of snippets of what's happening around America. Why is the violence, like, super escalating over there?
Oh, I would say that there are a lot of people that still can't get jobs. I actually wonder how skewed the numbers are for our job reports. Um, but it's tough out there. And even if you have a job, we've seen inflation for the things that matter. Certain things, yes, there is deflation with certain things. Um, but in areas that matter, your food, your bills, maybe even your insurance, all of these things are getting more expensive. Government assistance is not really enough for people either. But hey, there's a lot of people out there that also got that vaccine, and with the vax, I don't know. Maybe you're just not right in the head. So who knows?
I cringe every
You
time
know?
I hear the V word.
Yeah, I know. It hurts. It hurts your insides. But you have to wonder, is that part of it? Is because we've slowly been we've known for a while, right? Like this channel knows for a while. You can see the violence uptick when jobs are being lost, when your paycheck is not keeping up with the cost of living. That makes sense. We can put those things together. But then all of a sudden, are we just seeing cherry picked things from the internet and they want us to see it? Or because I haven't seen the statistics, Mike. So I don't know if we're actually seeing violence truly surge on paper. And even if it was, would they skew those numbers too to make it not look so bad? I don't know.
You know, I've been watching like ABC Atlanta, ABC Miami,
Hmm.
this Arizona, this that, and I'm getting stuff that doesn't hit the mainstream, like the whole coast to coast, and I'm getting stuff out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale. That's what is going on. Like what?
Hmm.
Like I just can't get over some of the. I don't know. I think this segregation of our minds. Like okay, there's a segregation of color. There's always gonna like they're creating this segregation of color,
Yeah,
religion, creed, blah
yes,
blah 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 blah
yes.
blah 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 blah. Right? But now the segregation's in our minds. They're creating. We're
Hmm.
programming to hate people that don't take the vaccine.
Yeah. Yeah, or to hate them, right? There's the other side of this too, guys, to hate people that did.
Yeah.
Why do you care? Did it hurt you? Probably not. I mean, I guess there's a possibility, scientifically speaking, they could have done something funky, but realistically, I don't care. Just don't make me do anything, and we're cool. If you try to make me do something, we're gonna have a problem. Like it's simple, right? But you're so right on this. That's definitely a reason to see violence go up. And people feel like it's okay, right? Because whenever we see it, you see this on the left and the right. This is why I don't play politics. When Antifa goes and beats the crap out of some Proud Boys, they get excited. It makes other people feel like they should do it too because they're looked at as heroes. Now we get Proud Boys going and kicking the shit out of somebody in Antifa. Well, they hold each other up. They think it's a great thing. And even with public politicians speaking, people feel like they can get away with it. So both sides are feeding into this issue. And it's basically like we got the pressure cooker on high right now. And we're just waiting on the lid to blow.
Well, something's gonna give, right? And
Yeah, it has to.
I Alaska Prepper was saying it's going through this effect of rotation, right? That you kind of
Hmm.
see that effect if you go back to World War One when Germany.
Hmm.
Let me tell you something, Fringe, that a lot of people don't know. Did you know that Germany lost World War One? But did you know that not a single shot was fired on German soil?
I have heard that.
Okay, a lot of people
I've
don't
heard it, but
know.
I don't know about it.
Yeah, a lot of people would never. What? Germany lost the war and there was never a single shot fired on German soil? Nope. So after the fall of Germany in World War One, guess what happened? You see that effect that Alaska Prepper was discussing earlier about how you go into
Hmm.
this, then you go into build up, and then Germany basically went through hyperinflation, poverty, starvation. Then they started building, dividing, fear, military, employment went to 100%, and then hit 1939 after World War One, boom, Germany is a full blown military, blah blah blah. And I think what happened in the West was they started to see how fast a country could build itself up militarily, structurally, if they controlled the media and the government propaganda. And that's what happened in Germany. It was the propaganda, the lies, the deception. And they divided between religion there. Germany was more of a religious divide between the Jews and the... Right. So that's what happened there. In America, you're seeing the blacks and the whites, right? So you're always seeing this divide. But the thing is, they're not building this... They have a military complex, but I guess they're building it to... I guess America would be like, we're building this... So we have our guns, so they keep using our petrodollars? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what America's game would be if we were to compare it to other military complexes that have come and gone over time. Is it to keep the petro going? Is it to keep our corporations overseas? You know, like what, you know?
Probably all of the above, but that would really take some time and some serious thought to try to sit down and sift through it. And I feel like even if the smartest of us got together in a room, we would still never fully know the answer to that question. Whatever motives we see working they're not meant to be understood, right? The confusion is purposeful. Everything is very purposeful. And going back to what AP was actually talking about, Alaska Prepper, I agreed with him so fully when you guys were talking about the transitions to these things, whereas oppression comes next and how it plays out. I've thought about it over and over again, but in different scenarios. And now you actually see it happening, where I think it's very true that social credit score is going to come. There could be something to do with those QR codes. We're seeing it now with the Vax Pass, things like this, right? Other countries are doing these things already. Other states are doing these things already. So that's going to get amped up. And that's where people, you know, to get back onto prepping and to really kind of harden into what he was saying there, these things are going to happen. I believe that they are going to happen. Something is going to happen that says, hey, you know what? You're not allowed to do this or that because you don't have what we've deemed necessary, right? So, you know, if you haven't been a person that's prepping, to some extent, you need to start. And the easiest way is
if you live in a condo or an apartment.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I would say if you had that kind of scenario going on, you had better have a really good escape plan, because I would not want to be there when this thing goes south. We can't all afford to move, though. So you need to at least be somewhere in a state that allows you to get the items you need to defend yourself. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Well, in Canada, it's really hard to get anything to defend yourself here, and that's a major issue that we have here in Canada. We surrendered a lot of our stuff, and over the sake of being protected by the government, right?
Huh? And, how well did that work out?
Well,
for any country?
Mao took the guns, Stalin took the guns, Hitler took the guns. Right? They're doing another gun sweep in New Zealand again next week. This is their 4th gun sweep in New Zealand that they've had in like 2 years. Mm-hmm. You know, Australia is looking at another gun sweep too. So
there's no price tag. Seriously, guys, there is no price tag big enough. And most of the time, it's actually kind of sad. They give you less than what your item is actually worth. Why would I want to trade that in? What? That didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But I'm even saying you could offer me $3 million per gun and it wouldn't happen. Mm-hmm. No, thank you. I know what it's worth.
The Raven in the comments is saying you can't prep for what's coming. So the Raven knows something. The Raven always knows something.
I mean, you can't, but also what's with this depressive BS? Along with the people that are super duper, and don't get me wrong, guys, I'm a very, I don't know if I should say religious or spiritual, but those that are super duper Bible thumping on, you know, when the wrath of God comes, this is worthless, that everything's worthless. The only thing that matters at that time is your faith. But God also never told you to be stupid and just blow with the wind. He did tell you to prepare. He actually did tell you to invest and to diversify in your investing. He doesn't want you to be stupid, poor, and sitting on your ass waiting on him to do something. You are a person. He gave you a mind, body, and soul. Use it. It's easy. Mm-hmm. You know, and if we didn't have that in us, we would have been long gone already. No one would even be talking about any religion. I don't even care what your religion is. No one would even be talking about it or be connected in those sorts of ways, right? Because you're told to do something. And no, you can't stop what's coming. I already know that because I'm a believer in things. But I also wasn't told to just sit around, sit on my hands, do nothing, act like a wimp, and roll over.
Again, we're preachers, right? We're not preaching gospel, but we're preaching discussion, common sense. And
Yeah. Well, I get really sorry for that. I get really amped up about this kind of stuff because I don't think that there's any reason to be super depressed about it. If you're depressed about it, you've already lost.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already being eaten away. Yeah, just saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it though.
I was gonna ask. Yeah, you're right. You're right on. You're right on the money. I'm just really, I don't know. I'm really like, I just, yeah, like you said, just get right. You know, me and Lenny Pooh had a discussion on Mike in the Night, like, I don't know, like 5 weeks ago, and we're all at birth programmed to believe, like, if we were to wipe out all religion and wipe all our minds, and the next generation would not know of any religion, of any existence, it doesn't matter. Religions will start surfacing all over the place, even though we got wiped of religion will come back. Do you know why? Because we're programmed at birth to believe that there's a creator and a God. At birth, we're programmed. And there's no escaping it.
Well, and just to look at the beauty that's around you, and I'm talking about outside of the normal hustle and bustle of your everyday. Even if you're in the middle of New York City Times Square, just to see some butterfly pass by you is pretty freaking awesome. I don't want to sound like some crazy person here, but all of this didn't just happen. All right. It took intelligence to put it together. And even if you were to follow science, if you followed science, it shows you. There's proof even in the science because the Big Bang didn't just happen just because. All right. And everything that happened with that actually lines up with what the Bible says. That's incredible to think about. Right. And I just don't like to be doom and gloom. That's not who I am. I see what's coming. It's scary. It's scary as hell. But guess what? If I don't speak up, I don't do something, and I don't do anything about it, other people around me won't either. Well, I might lose my life. A lot of people will lose their lives. But if there's other people that saw what you did so they could keep theirs, the fight continues. That's what it's about.
Exactly. And if you know, it's like trying to, I keep telling, and I've been telling everybody, you know, we're 4 weeks out, and I'm just trying to make sure that everybody gets good with their family. Like, what really pisses me off the most is when I'm talking to someone, they say, yeah, I live with my mother, but I haven't talked to her in 2 years, but we live in the same house. It's like, what? You got to get over this BS, I hate you bull crap, and love each other. I'm so tired of this. Oh, she did something, then she ratted me out. Well, too bad. Maybe you deserved it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sick and tired of this, where brothers don't talk to brothers and sisters don't talk to cousins. I don't know. It's disgusting. And I keep telling people you can't have a breakdown in your own home when the world is going to hell.
Oh, most certainly not. I am somebody that can say, okay, family is family, but if something's too toxic, get away from it. Don't stay around it. There can be people that are not of your blood that can be way closer to you than your family ever was. And this is coming from somebody I'm close with my family. I don't have any real issues with them. We've resolved our problems. But you know, if that's something toxic, you got to get out of it. You got if you're a couple that's in your little new phase where you bicker about every little thing, or hell, let's say you've been together for 40 plus years. I'm not saying get a divorce, but you better figure out your problems now, because these little tiny problems today, oh, there's much bigger stuff to come in the future. And you had better have somebody by your side where you can talk through these things.
Exactly.
Like,
we got to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we just have enough. We just have enough to hold on. You know, we just have enough to hold on to right now. And once we lose our grip, we need that the people who are in our lives that influence our lives, whether it's good or bad, because the people that influence your lives in a bad way sometimes are building a stronger foundation and you don't even know it.
Exactly. It sets you up to be ready for another situation in the future. It's all just it's the whole thing is a mental mind game, honestly. So, I would say the same thing. If you're living with or you're close to someone where you guys got a bunch of problems, do your best to resolve it now or get away from it. Because there's going to be some problems. That I can say. Loved ones or not. I think we've all read and understand what people do when they get really hungry. And being really hungry and angry on top of that is not a situation I want to be a part of.
Right. Right. Like when Jesus went to the temples and started whipping all the money lenders, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did they do? They put him on a cross.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, he basically forgiven. Everyone's been forgiven for their sins, right? Everyone's forgiven because he took that burden on himself, right? So we didn't have to take it.
Exactly. But that also, like I said earlier, that doesn't mean that you just don't do anything. We should strive to be better people every day.
Yeah.
No. And I know you're not saying that. I so know you're not saying that. But, just to bring some more positivity in this room, try and better yourself every day. If you have and I'm not even saying you have to open your Bible every day either, guys. Just take a moment out of your day to, even if you're not a believer, just have some peace inside of you. Find something that brings you some peace. That could be before bed, first thing in the morning, when you're in the middle of making dinner. Just find that moment. And if we can, try to do something for someone else. I know I'm not saying purposely put yourself in that position. You don't have to do that. But, there's always somebody out there that could use a hand. And, if we're in a position to help those people out, let's try to do that.
Yeah. Very important.
Man, we've been all over the map. Do you want me to get out of here? Somebody else could call in, or
I'm going
I don't
into
want to
my
take
third
up too
hour.
much time.
I'm going into my show's 3 hours, and I'm going into my third hour, and it's 120 degrees Fahrenheit here.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Something I did want to put up on my main channel, the Fringe channel, if I get the chance to do it. I actually have a design for making a sort of makeshift AC. So if anybody's interested in that, I did a community post on the Fringe channel about it. I finally got internet back again. So, even if the heat wave goes away, okay, guys, there's a lot of people that don't have ACs. It could come back, and hopefully it's a video that people could go and reference to. So I need to try to get that together. I figured out how to make this actually because we didn't have AC in our car when we were going on a very long road trip with my dog. And
Ooh.
I love my dog like a baby. So obviously I made her a makeshift AC.
That's good. That's actually very...
Yeah, well, she's my baby.
Yeah.
I had to keep her safe.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know if you know, but where my store is in the little strip there of Merritt in the downtown area, people leave their cars running and go to the gym.
Huh? So it's not too hot when they get in?
Oh, they just leave their vehicles. And in the wintertime, they leave their cars running for 3 hours and go to the gym and come back and their vehicle's running.
What the? Wow.
I'm not joking. And then the
That's
pipe
unusual.
from the exhaust pipe from the pickup trucks, the diesels, go right into my store.
Good. Oh, well, that's not cool, is it?
I just kind of wanted to throw that out there because you said road trip, and I said, but...
Road trip.
So, all right. I will, I'll let you go. It's going to my third hour now. I am going to go take another cold shower. I took 3 cold showers today. I'm going to take one more. And I hear my kids screaming upstairs, so I'm going to go put them to bed. And I've been watching a lot of 80s wrestling with my kids, like 80s wrestling. And,
oh, that sounds great.
oh, we watch all kinds of old Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake, like really old stuff. And my kids love it.
No, that's great. All right. Well, thanks for letting me take up some of your time tonight, Mike. Thanks for listening, guys.
No
and hopefully I can get some content out soon. So I'll see you guys later.
God bless you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. That is Fringe. And Fringe Files here. Blackstone. Yeah, she sent me that thing. Perfect. It's good to have her on. It's been a couple of weeks since she's been on. She lost internet. She was on our show, 3 weeks ago on the main channel. So, guys, we're going to be streaming off this channel going forward. Nobody freak out or panic. We're just going to stream on here. I just don't want any issues on my main channel's got a lot of good history on there, a lot of good stuff, a lot of good predictions, not post-dictions. We don't post-dick on this channel. We predict on this channel. So, there's the channel there. Guys, I want to send you a link, if you don't mind. If you're watching this channel, I want to send you a link to my main channel where I put up videos all the time. This is the link here. So if you want to go to this one, you could go ahead and check out the videos, just regular stuff I put up. And then, this is Wednesday show, live show. It's called Market Talk, No Limits, Call-ins. So go ahead and set your reminder for Wednesday's live show if you want to come on. And also... we got Dan. Dan's got a message. Dan, what's up, buddy? Dan, you there, buddy? Dan? Dano? Hello? I think Dano pocket dialed me. Hold on. He sent me a photo here. Oh my God! Billy Idol. Yo, Dan, what's up? Dan? Dano? Well, his Skype seems not to be working, but he sent me a working progress picture that he has, and there it is. I keep telling him, you gotta do Billy Idol on your thing, and there it is, Billy Idol. Wow. Yeah, Billy Idol was a big deal growing up in my life. All right, Market Talk this Wednesday. And guys, Mike in the Night, 3 weeks to go, guys. 3 weeks to go, and it's going to get... Oh, man. Here it is, guys. You don't want to miss this Mike in the Night. We got 3 weeks to go, folks. And also, guys, check out my board game store. If there's something you'd like to play or try, go ahead and pick it up. I'm cheap, but the shipping isn't that good. But let me know if there's a problem with the checkout. Let me know, okay? Artbydano.com. Not your typical art. Dano, I was just talking about you there.
Sorry, man. I finally got my Skype to work. Mike, I have an idea, and I don't want to waste too much of your time because it's the end of the night.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us.
All right. I'm going to make an Amerifornia board game.
Are you?
Yeah. It's been in my head for a while. It's kind of finally coming together artistically and thematically, and it's going to be similar to Monopoly, but you'll actually be like traveling around America and Canada.
And you're buying up properties and you're bidding on properties.
Pardon me?
You're bidding up properties instead of buying them. You bid up properties between each other.
Yes, exactly. I'll be part of it, and I got some other ideas with it. So anyway, I'm going to start working on it. I think it's going to be – maybe we can even use it to help raise money for the tour too, right? So you can maybe sell it through your store or whatever, but I'm definitely going to do it.
It's producing it that might be a problem. What are you smoking?
Yeah. Me? Oh, that's not I'm not smoking anything. This is just my mic.
Oh, I thought that was a pipe. And I'm like,
no,
whoa, he's smoking some wacky tobacco.
Dynex, I don't know what the hell it is.
Hey, I saw the Billy Idol picture, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it's a work in progress.
Dude, I'm telling you, Billy Idol is, Billy Idol is you're going to sell a lot. Trust me, I'm going to be your agent. I'm going to tell you what to draw, and you'll see.
Well, you've been right so far, man. I mean, your idea for me to do the Mandalorian stuff was worked out awesomely, so what can I tell you, man?
Yeah, Billy Idol's, yeah, and you got the light there. It looks like White Wedding there.
Well, yeah, I just kind of slapped this together at the last minute. It's like the Blue Velvet lighting. Remember that movie Blue Velvet? Yeah. It's really creepy.
Well, anyway. Maybe we'll rewatch. This looks like a little clip from Eyes Without a Face.
Yeah.
If you watch Eyes Without a Face, the music video, and it starts in the midnight hour.
Yeah.
Rewatch that video after you get off with me. Go to YouTube and type in Eyes Without a Face Billy Idol. That looks like a scene when he's coming down the stairs.
It sounds cool, man. I'm going to look at that. But anyway, great show tonight as usual.
Well, thanks, Dano. I was just promoting your website here when you called.
Oh man, that's awesome. But I'm serious about this Amerifornia idea, and I think you can. It can. I know how it can be done. I can actually print the the game board through one of my printers.
Okay.
I think I can pull it off, and we can do it for a laugh anyway. And it'd be what can I say, man?
Yeah, we could promote it, push it, and see if we could.
Yeah, what the hell, right?
And the object of the game is to get into the most debt by the end of 10 rounds or something.
Yes, and you have 3 different financiers. You can be financed by China, or you can be financed by crypto pumpers and one other criminal activity, right?
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Yeah, keep me in the loop with that, please.
I will, man. All right, man. Good night.
Thank you. God bless you.
You too.
Bye. All right, folks, that is Art by Dano, artbydano.com. And I was just promoting the guy right now live on the show. Here he is here. So artbydano.com, not your typical art, artbydano.com. And Amerifornia Tour, don't forget to donate. Lord Humongous is prepping a van to go across America to collect stories and live streams and all kinds of bizarro stuff happening in America. Maybe we should send them out to find the American dream. What is the American dream? Is it still there? And thanks to our guest, Alaska Prepper. I'm gonna plug him one more time, guys. Please check out Alaska Prepper. Please check out his channel. We easily have enough people watching this on replay to get him to 100,000 subscribers, easy. And we had Silver Stackers on here. Who else did we have on here? We had Heiza Says in the comments. We had all kinds of. Oh, and then we had the other YouTube channel there. We had a lot of channels on tonight on board here in the comment section. It was really good to see. Oh, we got Hillbilly Prepper on here too. Yeah. So all right. So lots of people on the chat tonight. I really appreciate that. Okay, guys, I'm wrapping it up. I'm falling asleep. It's 120 Fahrenheit, and it's time to hit the hay, and I'm gonna play my last song here. Where is it? Mike in the Night song. Ralphie.co.New Zealand music. All right, Mitch Madden, thank you very much. Forgiven in the comments. Killins. M Howell 99. Wall Street Stackers. Joe Abraham. Joe Abraham is saying, open your eyes to the true message of Jesus, as what you are saying about him is a lie. Well, I'm not trying to lie about anybody. I'm just kind of paraphrasing, so to say. But I'm not out to lie. But if you have something to tell us, you come on the show. I should do this on Mike in the Night when I start is welcome to Mike in the Night. First rule of Mike in the Night, you don't talk about Mike in the Night. Second rule of Mike in the Night, you don't talk about Mike in the Night. And third rule of Mike in the Night, if it's your first time in the comment section, you gotta call in. So we should do that, right? Muzzle Flash in the house, D-Man in the house, Linny Poo in the house, Scott Hareka in the house, Standing Mannequin in the house, Tig Nim in the house. It's so hot. Alright, guys. Mike Martin's here, signing off. Take care, and if you can't, stay safe. I have spoken.